Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Challenger 2023 Spring. I'm Atlas, joined by Chronicler here for 3 best of 3s of goodness. Going to be an absolutely amazing day. We're starting off with the bottom end of the standings, but we do have a bit of a banger match as we move towards DK taking on T1. Hi, everyone.
Yeah, it's going to be very good, Atlas. And you started so incredibly excited. I'm gonna take it easy. Maybe it's early where you are. Maybe it's late.
That's true.
I don't know.
Yes.
We're all happy you're here. If you're here, you're very cool. Everyone can watch LCK. But not everyone can... Well, everyone can watch Challengers, but not everyone does.
We're starting off strong.
I guess people also don't watch Challengers because, you know, there's a ton of people in the world.
Yes. Okay, so we need to provide some context as to why Chronicler's brain is not actually functioning correctly. He was at work prior to this 6 days in a row. I was there as well. However, I'm a professional, and so I'm keeping it together as best I can.
Excuse you. That's that. Okay, that's how we're gonna start. Well, if you want full try-hard Chronicler, you can get it, Atlas. But don't you diverge in the game. Don't you dare.
I would never. I would absolutely never. I'm just professionalism 100% of the time, all the time, unless the fans would prefer it if I wasn't. That's
And by fans, he means if one person even suggests it, even a hint, the slightest notion of maybe do something funny, and Atlas like, let's go.
Yeah, that's how it generally works. So Condom Freak's taking on Gen.G. So this is why Chronicler has started off on the more of the loopy foot, is because our first game is not necessarily a top-of-the-charts banger. This is, in fact,
everything's a banger in Challenge.
A Gen.G Global Academy that is very much struggling at this point in time. They're missing Pays, who has moved into the LCK, has picked up a couple of POGs as well. He's doing very, very well. And you can understand, without that fighting force, it becomes then difficult
Yeah, the team, unfortunately, doesn't really have an identity right now, and even in Challengers, where there is a lot more messiness going on, it's very important that you're kind of on the same page. I really felt like the team had a very clear identity previously, which was very strong team fighting, play toward the bot side, and hope that Pays carried. Somewhat reminiscent of what we saw Sandbox do in the summer LCK in 2022, which worked out very well for them as well, although, again, didn't make Worlds. And... for Gen.G, they need to completely revamp. I think individually, Gen.G is actually pretty good. Like, their top side of the map, I think, is pretty all right. We've seen Quid have some decent moments, even in the LCK.
Absolutely,
right?
Yeah.
We've seen, overall, I think, that the team has more to offer, but it's just not really happening. Whereas for Kwangdong, they were a team that existed of just solo lanes, and then they lost Bulldog. And... from
so
what
now
I
it's
saw,
just Dilemma.
Well, no, yeah, also no, because from what I saw, Lancer did a pretty decent job, but even if they put back in Ilima, I don't think it really changes anything, because the team was just the 2 solo lanes, and now one of the 2 good solo lanes is gone, and even if it's just one, that's not really enough to win you anything. So the question then becomes... who wins today? Maybe neither team does.
This is what feels like a battle between a movable object and a stoppable force.
Oh, yeah.
And we'll see who's going to be the most movable or the least stoppable. Oh, the most stoppable.
Very professional, Atlas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Great job.
Let's check this out though. So here is the couple of days that we've got of Challenger for you this week on the global broadcast. Gen.G taking on T1 did happen. I believe this was off stream. Yeah, this was 3 and 4. So these are the results of the matches that we had last week on Wednesday and Thursday when LCK was running, and so therefore we couldn't be broadcasting. T1 was able to take that one against Gen.G. They were able to get 1 game, which is definitely good news. Nongshim continues the good form, and KDF managing to pick up a 2-0 over Bro. So a little bit unfortunate, Bro also here in Challenger not doing so hot.
I'd say they're doing a lot worse, whereas the main Bro team actually shows some moments every now and then for the team
their
here.
first
That's
week
not
definitely
really, not really great, and also giving us a little bit more insight. Hanwha Live actually shaping up to be a fairly decent roster. Taking games off of D+ in of itself is quite a glowing recommendation. To me, the most surprising is DRX winning over KT, because I think KT actually had a couple of pretty decent moments, and with that, DRX is slowly starting to climb up a little bit more, and as you can see, the match between Kwangdong and Gen.G is actually pretty important because both of these two teams are still in a rough spot. Playoff format is similar to the LCK, where we are going to be looking to have the top 6 teams then seed into a bracket. And also do note, look at that, DK, T1.
Yeah.
That's the second match today. But you can't just start with a main course, Atlas. You need an appetizer.
You absolutely do.
You
and that's
need
why
to prepare your palate for what's about to come.
Make sure you cleanse that palate effectively. Kwangdong Freaks versus Gen.G has got that one covered for you. Where Kwangdong Freaks actually coming off a victory means that this might be a little bit more of a landslide in their favor. We'll just have to see whether Gen.G can find some form and actually fight back, because it's been a real lack of victory here for this squad. They picked up a couple of games here and there, but otherwise it has not looked good. Of course, better news than Bro, and Kwangdong Freaks beating them doesn't necessarily tell us all that much.
It does not. And today we're mostly going to be looking out at how the teams look overall, as it's Zeri time, as in week number 1 it definitely was not. But the win rate for Zeri overall in Challengers is way better. And it's not that complicated to understand why. It's because Challenger teams are not even remotely close to LCK teams when it comes to playing out a lead. They're great at getting leads. They're also great at throwing them away. So as a result, picks like Zeri, when they have a lot more messiness, there's a lot more skirmishing going on, the team fights are nearly as clean. In those situations, I do think that she thrives a lot more. I'm also extremely worried as to what the recent developments in terms of support meta are going to mean. And I'll reference an essay that I read yesterday by ex-LPL caster Ox, if we actually do get there, because there was a lot of thoughts there that really went in deep. And I also want to point out, this isn't really gameplay ready, we do now have a mod at the ready. We ourselves cannot mod, but if you feel like you can be mean, if you feel like you can be rude, don't you dare, because you are one text message away.
Yeah,
getting swiped.
I feel like you just didn't need to say that,
No,
because now people are going to try and check. I mean, Gopchung is already there. He's very sad. By the way, Jonathan Haynes, it is indeed Chronicler, and I am Atlas. Hello, welcome to the stream.
This is also not live. This is a rebroadcast of, I don't know when though. Do you remember? People always ask if this is a rebroadcast because they're. Okay, I'm sorry.
No, I know. I'm not giving anyone any room to be an idiot. Okay, no room to be an idiot today. All right.
Don't have to take it out on the people.
This is indeed the Challenger broadcast. Okay, and therefore Faker will not be playing. Okay.
We'll have Bay instead.
Sorry, everyone. Yep, Showmaker is also taking a day off today. And Poolbay is going to be playing. You're going to be pretty happy about that. But let's get into our first matchup here. Lancer, Courage, Cleaver, Bull, and Andal going to be taken to the Rift here on behalf of Kwangdong Freaks. A team that doesn't quite have the power of Bulldog, which we saw was pretty good. Where is Pace? Denunciator, if you could, please.
I see Yundo asking where the carpet's. You are observing this. You know what's going on, Yundo. We see you. As overall, as mentioned, for both these two teams, I just wanted to see them try and form a bit more of a coherent identity. Because for Gen.G, very clearly, Carfe has been pretty neutral. I don't think he's been all right. He's been all right, but you can't.
He had his moments in the first match that we casted of.
But you can't rely on the same way that you did before, and as a result, I think they really need to try and find a new identity for themselves that actually works. And for these challenger teams, it is incredibly difficult to get that done because they are very young, very inexperienced. A lot of the basic grasp of macro setup, how you play out fights just isn't really there. These are literally grabbed straight from solo queue.
Yep.
And then thrown into a competitive environment.
And it's beautiful. It is just a wonderful thing to experience here, and we get to do it all together as a collective. Isn't that glorious? Kwangdong Freaks currently pretty equal, as you can see. Blue side, 3 wins, 3 losses. Red side, not so equal, as they haven't been able to pick up too many victories. Of course, blue side has been the more popular side. You can see Gen.G has lost a whole lot more on that side, so they have been favoring it, even if it hasn't necessarily been leading them to victories.
Definitely a recurring theme within challengers. And The one upside that they do have of challengers is that... Remember the Sandbox Pro game?
Yeah.
Yeah, you were there.
Yeah.
We were there together.
Yeah.
And the bane of that game was that nothing was happening.
And now everything's going to be happening.
Everything is going to be happening.
By the way, there's someone in chat called Reformed Cheater that had their message immediately banned, which is it's just kind of beautiful, isn't it?
They might have just been enthusiastic. But
If they had have actually put the extra T in their name, perhaps they might have been reformed enough to not get nightbotted straight out of the gate.
although they weren't just nightbot, I think they also got like an actual slap, so they probably were toxic. Is this real? No, nothing is.
No.
But I'm glad that you're asking. I also want to again reiterate, the key to everyone's collective enjoyment today is YouTube chat, be nice to Twitch chat be nice to YouTube chat, okay? I don't want to spend my whole day putting out fires. I want to focus on the shenanigans that are happening here.
Yep.
And on some fun, constructive, and enjoyable League of Legends.
Absolutely. And I don't think that there is any chance that anyone is going to be silly. As if we do have Bronson listening by, if you could just mod Lunel. She is the LCK mod.
The actual official LCK mod.
It would be good if she also had a bit of power in this chat as well.
We can trust her.
She doesn't even necessarily need to use it. Just being there with the ability to potentially use it is really, really good. But that's okay. We're getting very, very close to hopping into our first game, and here we are. Pick and ban Kwangdong Freaks will be on the blue side. Gen.G Global Academy will be on the red. Just a reminder to everyone, Bulldog not going to be playing. Pays not going to be playing. There is no Chovy in this game. Doran is also taking a day off, and Peanut's not here. This is Challenger. This is the real deal. This is where we do 3 best of 3s in a day. This is where we ban Heimerdinger on blue side. And this is where a whole lot of fun happens with you guys in chat, because we just read it the whole time. We barely even focus on the game. So if you're saying something interesting...
Speak for yourself. Thank you very much.
I am. Why would I speak for you? I don't know what you're thinking.
Well, I feel like generally you do.
Oh, no. When I say we, I mean me and the other personalities in my brain. Anyway, we are immediately going to jump out of Pick Ban because I was getting a little bit too excited. And now we're going to hop back in with a bit of an old school look. We just wanted to jump back in time a little bit, as this is unfortunately not 13.1b. This is just regular old 13.1. And so we kind of know how things go. Although, they picked away the Lucian.
So in the...
We're going to get the Lucian.
This is amazing. This is really good. So I wanna highlight that in the duo of Lucian Nami, obviously what makes them strong is how their 2 kits interact with one another. But if you take them apart, Lucian without Nami is considerably weaker than Nami is with any other aggressive AD carry, like for example Draven. So I love this trap here set up from Kwangdong Freaks. The one downside is that the Elise does go over to Gen.G. That is a very strong jungle pick, as... Oh, we're fist fighting.
Whoa! What?
Oh, we're fighting. Oh, we're fighting, Atlas.
So wait, what's Losper going to play though? Is it like, are they going to ban... They're going to ban Yuumi. They're going to ban... Who else do they ban? I guess you ban like Soraka or something like that, and then Losper's playing Sona in the bottom lane to make Lucian do damage? Like, I don't really understand. Anyway, the Crocodile has been picked up, so we've got Elise Renekton on this Rift, and this is going to be, it's going to be a game of League of Legends, is what it is. I'm pretty sure. Nara's going to be banned away. Nautilus also taken off the board.
Yeah, I was actually going to talk about the combination of either Nautilus or Braum to add to these already really pick-oriented composition that we have from Gen.G. Wouldn't be surprised to see both of those get taken away. As Atlas, I am talking. Can you? I know you want to say hi to everyone.
You can just ignore me.
No, I will not.
I'll just interact with the chat.
I will not. We're in draft. There's time for chatting, and there's time. Okay, never mind. I don't even know why I'm
I don't know why
that's fine.
Like,
you've
decided to go a bit antagonistic in this broadcast.
I don't know. I'm trying to keep it together, and this is my way of coping. You keep talking to chat. I will keep going back. Oh my God! Okay. So there's 2 options. So there's 2 options. Most likely, this is Lucian mid making its comeback, and Quid's gonna play that. The second option is that it's Lucian support, but considering specifically the Samira lock-in, I don't think that that's most likely. I know AD carries in the support role right now are very big, but not picking Leona here is not... I don't think that's allowed. I don't think you can. I do think that the Nami Draven lane can actually play into a Leona fairly well, but
No, it's Rel. It's 100% Rel.
Also fine. I don't really care, as long as it's a hard engage support to go with the Samira.
Oh! Renekton support. This is why you read Twitch chat. Because It's the Kips has the absolute ideas as to what's going to happen this game. I think Renekton support is almost guaranteed. The Akali is going to be locked away here. Quantum Freaks with a pretty standard composition. I like the pivot to the Draven instead of the Lucian, as it is going to be the old school option. So the Amumu's coming in once again. Was obviously picked towards Zeri's and things like that in patches gone by. But up against the Draven, it could be all right as well. And really, all you need to do is land a couple of bandage tosses and things are going to be okay. So Gen.G Global Academy completely off the rails already, and you love to see it. We'll just have to see where the Lucian's going to be going, whether it's for Quid or whether it's for casting, as we are casting. That is true. That's a thing that's happening in this game. Just we'll try and move past it together.
No, we won't. No,
Do
we
you
won't.
Chronicler?
You could argue that that's my job.
Ooh, verbal chroniclerization?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
I've written stuff.
Yeah.
I'm not on a regular basis, but looking at the compositions here overall, it's going to be a fist fight. I don't know what to tell you. We have fist fight bot lane, hexagon mid lane, and then
I like how Samira has
fight
like 2 different weapons and you called it a fist fight.
Yeah, well, Draven also has Axis, okay? Yeah. It's a figure of speech atlas, and then in the top half of the map, we have a Mai Tai match. I don't know why I'm trying. Why did I try with you? Why do I even bother?
We are off on the right foot, I think, this broadcast. We're just having a really good time.
Everyone.
That's what we're hoping for. We're hoping to go the distance, you know? If you've seen Hercules, we've got that song playing on repeat in our brains as much as we possibly can.
The Michael Bolton version?
Oh,
that's my favorite.
Yeah, that's pretty good. You know he came to Korea?
Michael Bolton?
Yeah, he came to Korea and he was like a judge, like on a Korean like singing reality show or something like that. It was like listening to a bunch of very famous and very talented Korean singers singing his songs and other songs. It was actually pretty dope. Anyway, let's hop onto the Rift here and rock out a little bit while we do it.
Was there?
We got it!
It was there.
We got the did. Oh, nailed it. Oh, is this gonna help your mood? Are we gonna be okay, Chronicler?
Well, you're actively trying.
Yeah.
To
no, I'm not.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not. Not even a little bit.
You don't enjoy antagonizing me. Just
I would never.
A little bit.
And also, if I was going to try and do it, this is not how I would do it.
How would you do it, Atlas? Tell me. Tell me, Atlas.
I would do it by only doing the things that irk you just a little bit and trying to be as innocent while I do them as possible. That's the only way. That's the only way that I'd do it. Because I'm a terrible person. All right. Quantum Freaks, let's see whether they can take down what is looking like a very strange, a weird and wonderful composition that has come out here by Gen.G. Of course, Lucian has been changed up a little bit, and so therefore in a solo lane works a whole lot less good. But, you know, if it gives you access to some power in the early game, which it absolutely does, then why don't you just pick it, especially when you've got something like an Elise that can really help snowball things.
Main thing that is going to change is the post 6. Once Cleaver has his ultimate available, I do think that this iteration of Lucian, even though, again, will be a level 1 Menace, will really keep Cleaver under the turret for the first couple of levels. Quid going for Doran's Blade and PTA is like, it's as aggressive as it gets, right? Like you're playing for 100% full on-lane dominance here, and that's going to work out very well, but as soon as Cleaver gets 6, I think Quid's going to have to respect way more, because I do think without a solo laner to really help you out, your damage output is going to be significantly less than it would otherwise be. So
By the
Interesting
way,
to see
the
her.
sound is indeed very delayed. We'll see what we can do about fixing that one up, because of course it is blowing my mind as well. I thought at first that it was actually just my brain being delayed.
Oh, I thought it was just us.
Yeah, no, it's not. It's not. It actually is delayed sound. So we'll try to make sure that it's going to be all right. As it's not all right yet, and I'm sure you guys will figure it out when the sounds are actually happening when things are supposed to be happening. Either way, we do have this bottom lane struggling just a little bit on the Gen.G side.
Listening to desynced access, it is a bit of a toughie.
Oh, it's actually ruining my brain. And I do a lot of play-by-play commentary off sound cues as well. And so this is going to be a time
I
that
thought you
we're
were
going
going to say that you do a lot of ruining your brain in general.
Oh, well, I do that as well.
Yeah, I thought you'd mention it.
Yeah. All right, well, Courage is going to come on over. Look to see whether he can bag himself a winner here. Does land the Q, as Winner is just going to drag the Grump into the brush. Gets quite impatient, but not entirely impatient, and will eventually go down.
Make your own sounds. Oh, we can do that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, every time a skill shot hits, we'll, for like, what?
Pew! Pew! Pew!
Okay.
Boom, boom.
He's not double tapping, it's just one.
Oh, money. Oh, Courage. Can he find something here?
Spider.
Winner going to do the same thing. Yeah. Skid it. Oh, Bandagey. Shooty.
X.
Boom. Oh, Bandagey again. Played well. Wow, we sound like Korean casters. As, all right,
Spider.
Cocoon is going to miss there. Winner's still going to try and fight this one out, and he's doing very, very well.
boxing.
Of course, Spiderlings do fantastic things in the Lee Sin matchup. Prevents things like Q from ever hitting.
It's Crocodile.
Yeah.
He's biting.
Slash.
How do you make the sound of a sword slashing?
Slash.
It's not
Slash.
I don't think it's slashy slash. Yeah.
Om nom nom. That's the cue. It's just om nom.
Yeah.
Well, you can see casting is between turrets, but does take a little bit of a timeout. Takes a breather as Quid. What? Okay. It's the dash into
Shuriken is like. It's like the batarang sound.
The batarang sound?
Yeah.
Heck yeah, like from the original Batman.
Any of them, really. So overall, mid
In
lane.
new Batman's, was there the batarang? Did that thing exist?
Bit
Like
of a disaster. Well, the new Batman, he's more kind of figuring out his own angst than he is being, a gadgety guy. Yeah.
Sorry, someone was talking about the
Your
Cho'Gath
Cho'Gath?
voice actor.
Was that
Is the best voice acting in League of Legends Gentleman Cho'Gath?
that or Broloff? Yeah.
I think it is.
I think Lancer is dead.
I think Lancer may indeed be dead, as Winner is going to flash in.
He is dead.
Not sure whether the flash was entirely necessary, but First Blood goes in. Love to see it. Snuggles Prime, love you too.
And Renex and Elise claiming yet another victim. This combination of Crocodile and Spider is exactly why Australia is as dangerous as it is. Do you have crocodiles? Actually, I don't even.
In
I feel
Australia?
like you do.
What? Yes.
What?
A lot.
Don't. I figured because you guys have Crocodile Dundee, so
We
it
had
made
this
sense. But I don't want
last
to
week.
assume a lot.
We had this conversation
Yeah,
last
do you
week.
think I remember Challenger matches? Anything that is said there?
No. Yes, you do.
Which of
You're
you
a chronicler.
make the best Rammus impression? Wait, okay.
You already did it. You said okay before you even started.
Yeah, but that wasn't a good impression. His voice is
Oh,
low.
it was a great impression. I thought it was really, really good. Crocodile Spider Australian combo. Well, I mean, it's also an Egyptian combo.
Okay.
Pretty sure there's crocodiles in the Nile as well, and things like that.
I know about spiders though.
Spiders? Sure, there are spiders.
Prevalent? Well, I mean, I guess they would be.
I played there's like been a few like Tomb Raider games and stuff like that. Pretty sure there's spiders in those, and I think that's canon. Pretty sure. Wait. No, I'm not even going to read that. I don't even know what that means. Okay.
Oh, I also want to highlight YouTube chat. Twitch chat has been very wholesome.
Oh, can you actually highlight your messages?
What? Well, sometimes you can. If you're criticizing these players, you don't get. These players are really good. They're just not very smart yet, but they'll get there. That's the cool thing. There is one of the big benefits to me of challengers is that you get to see who's gonna be one of the future LCK talents. If you watch Challengers, you would have known that Pace, the moment he came in, would get a bunch of POGs and also give some interviews that are great on the entertainment skill as Cleaver.
All right. Quid gonna pick it up. There it is. He also had the culling and he did not need it. Gen.G off to a flying start here, and they are already closing in on that 2,000 gold lead. Of course, this composition falls off a literal cliff when you get to about 25 minutes, theoretically. But Quantum Freaks don't necessarily have an overabundance of scaling either. So I think that Gen.G might be able to ride this snowball. We are indeed in Challenger though, so maybe they can't. I don't know.
You never know. You never know. And is this where we start to ask ourselves the question, is Lucian mid just still good, actually, as Quid able to build up a big early lead, and Cleaver, unfortunately, going to be tanking a full calling. And the worst part is, even if he doesn't die there, Winner was also on his way. So overall, Gen.G playing out their composition as they should, pick up an early Drake, a lot of utilization of their early game power. But this comp, if it doesn't snowball bot as well, is really going to rely on picking up individual targets as we get into the later stages of the game. But with how things are looking right now, I'm feeling pretty good. Also, if they can get Herald as well, they can turn that individual Inferno into another mountain, they're going to be in a stellar spot.
They
Lancer,
certainly will.
Just got to give it the plates.
I do want to say, Papa, thank you so much for alerting the chat. There are indeed sound issues. Things are just a little bit delayed here. And I think that someone's trying to fix it. We have done our best to send the word out. However, you know, we'll just see whether it eventually gets fixed. Before that, we'll just have things on a weird, strange delay, and you'll just have to kind of make up what the sounds mean in your head. Is kind of how it's going to go.
I really am trying to focus exclusively on you and not on the audio, because if I listen to the audio, it will literally drive me insane.
Well, if you listen to me as well, it's probably going to have a similar effect. So
yeah, but that's the insanity that I know and love, Atlas. So I've had 2 years of that insanity.
Unexpected wholesomeness.
I can. Oh, you know me. That's kind of what I rely on. Is overall the top half of the map, as expected, in an incredibly well-advanced state. Both the Elise, Lucian, and Renekton getting very far ahead. But we are looking at about 200 Draven stacks, and I want to reiterate that this game is not over for Kwangdong. The type of composition that Gen.G runs, while if you have control, will remain good until I think much later stage in the game than you might initially suspect. I think like 30, 35 minutes, you will be completely fine. But a simple mistake on the bot side or in a skirmish, and Bull picking up an item or two can make matters a lot more tough. Although playing Draven, even with cleanse, into the amount of dive that Gen.G have available is a toughie. A lot of pressure will be on Lospa as we get into the team fighting stage and into the 5v5s around the map. So, Cleaver.
Yeah, he's going to get in there. There's the flash kick. Repel gets Winner out of there. He's going to flash as well. And so, therefore, he'll be absolutely fine.
Oh, that's so sad. He was able to repel to the ward that Courage placed to go for his ward kick. That's why he was able to actually repel.
That's very
to
sad.
that extent. Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure there was a minion as well, so wouldn't have been quite as good. Maybe they could have chased, but not going to be the case here.
Yep, so I do have word that we are indeed working on a fix for the audio. So just bear with us for the next little while. We should have that one sorted out just fine. Spawn, we are not Goofy. We are not.
For a second,
We're
I thought
eclectic.
it was. We
like to call ourselves
Spawn.
eclectic. Ooh, yeah. Wonder what Spawn's up to. I think he's back in the US.
He is coaching Team Liquid, not the main team, but the like challenger slash. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's kind of confusing as a whole.
Casting's dead. Oh, not quite dead yet, but now he's dead. Well, I mean, now he's dead.
So collectively, as a League of Legends community, do Cassante solo kills count?
No. Quid is going to throw the culling out. Does manage to find a few shots there as Cleaver. Oh dear. Struggling just a little bit here. Shuriken backflip, not going to get the CS, and that is going to be another plate going over to Quid, who's having a great time. No, they don't. Right back 0404 has stated, I think pretty categorically, that they indeed do not count. So there we go. Video Game Vibes also says that Nocturne is OP. What are your thoughts on that?
There are scenarios where Nocturne is OP. Sure. That's not what the statement says, but I love adding nuance to things that are not nuance. So,
true.
If you qualify that statement a little bit, I think that's true. There's drafts where Nocturne is great. I also think in solo queue, Nocturne is actually way better because pro play, it's a lot easier to coordinate. But in solo queue, people will just go off on their own. And if you press an R button, that enemy team is not going to do anything for a couple of seconds.
That is very, very true. And it is definitely a good point. As, all right, not going to be the steal. Winner also not going to quite find the cocoon. Blood Moon at least, bit of a throwback with that particular skin. It's been out for quite some time here. As Quid going to move his way back towards this mid lane. So Gen.G is sort of just giving away a Drake. We have the 3 best dragons in this game. Bit spicy, one could say.
It's really good, as if they can kill Bull here. I don't know how many stacks he's sitting on, but it's going to be a ton.
Oh, okay. Winner not going to be able to find that one. Cocoon also going to miss there is Cleaver.
Oh, I don't know about this one,
find
Quid?
it? Culling going to be utilized as Cleaver
Never mind.
could have an opportunity, but he's not going to.
Yeah, the problem is he's very far behind. Quid doesn't even have Guild Force, but if Cleaver can get a Rocket Belt, then you might be in a bit of a better situation.
All right,
Hold
that's
up.
Curse of the Sad Mummy to fly forward there as Carfe is going to see what he can do. The S rank not all that close right now, but he does find it. And there we go. The double kill comes in. Bull's going to survive, but oh no. The poor little Draven. Can he cash in first is the question. The answer is absolutely not. As Quid's going to pick up Taradagro, Carfe's going to pick up the triple kill.
It's actually very cleanly done as well. So Costing's dead again. Oh, no, never mind. Lancer?
Lancer is going to try and find it here, but not going to quite get under. And of course, had to sacrifice a bit of his stats, so not going to be able to tank that one up all that comfortably.
So,
is Gen.G Global Academy the best team in Challenger?
No.
Because
But this was well
maybe
done.
they are.
Set up good vision control around bot side. Lost actually with a really good engage. Because this is a 3 versus 3. This is in theory winnable, if not for the fact that the lane of Guangdong was already substantially behind, as was the jungler, and as a result, not a lot to be done there, unfortunately, when Quid roams over. And Quid really making this Lucian mid work. I'm actually very pleasantly surprised. Winner has really been the kind of glue holding everything together for Gen.G. And
oh, Lost, but I'd love to see it. Hex flashing.
He's going in hard. And now we are going to a much bigger goal, because I actually wanted to mention previously that Guangdong was not in a bad spot. Overall, they were able to pick themselves up another Drake, which might give them a little bit more opportunity. Although, the real problem with that comp is that, you know, I usually have like the Gen.G comp, and then they face scaling, and then they get outscaled.
Yeah,
I
ran into this issue before, right? As Lancer is likely dead, yet Winner's going to be able to help pick that one up. And Gen.G gets some revenge for their top laner. And yeah, this is the problem that I had, because I was looking at the Gen.G comp and I'm like, oh man, Lucian mid, you've got Renekton top lane. This composition's gonna get mega outscaled. Then you look over at Connacht Freaks and you're like, huh, but do they? Question mark.
Yeah, I also want to make something very clear. If these players still throw, that's being challengers. If they don't throw, you know, they got ahead, they got big enough lead so they can just steam boat the game. That's fine.
Yeah.
But never think a challenger game is over.
Until the Nexus dies.
Yes. Well, this one actually is over, though.
I mean, it should be over. It's 5,000 gold. This is also Gen.G winning, and they're also winning on the red side.
And also with Lucian mid and Samira Amumu.
Yeah, and the Samira has been playing exceptionally well. I think Carfe has been doing a great job so far towards that bottom side and in this mid lane, as you can see right here. Get this man a melee champion, I guess, or at least a champion that can do both. We're going to see Jace bot lane next game? Heck yeah.
I hope not.
Nah bot lane?
No.
No, definitely not. That would be very bad. Carve just going to move back here though, and they can't afford to slow down. The pressure needs to remain high here for Gen.G Global Academy. They can't rest on their laurels. Need to keep trying to kill this Draven over and over again. Never allow those stacks to stack up. As once again, Winner lying in wait. Not going to find that cocoon onto anyone as we've got a slight zoom, which does get a little bit worrying. It is going to be absolutely fine. Lospa moving over. And the Amumu can always make or break a game, especially here in Challenger. So I'm slightly worried about how this one's going to go. You can see he's being wound up, the wound up bandages. And there's the flash forward. Curse the Sad Mummy onto 3 is fantastic, but Lancer, he's gonna find his way in. I just don't think it's gonna be enough as he gets under the turret. But Shirley's also just gonna dive on forward. This is too good from Gen.G.
Textbook game.
I had a bit of a frog in my throat throughout that whole team fight. I hope it didn't sound too weird.
Not for challengers.
Oh, thanks, man.
You're good. Don't you worry. Might be the delicious lunch that we had just now. A lunch that we will probably get more time to talk about because this game, Atlas, is pretty over.
It is pretty donezo, isn't it?
It really is. Because again, there are a ton of champions and drafts and compositions where I can see a realistic chance for you to come back. But unless Gen.G collectively run in, you're not ever going to win. Because if Elise and Renekton get fed, obviously it's really tough, but I feel like there are angles for you where with some compositions you can kind of deal with them, right? Elise doesn't really skill on to 5v5, she kind of has to play to the outside of a fight, can't really go in. But the 5v5 from Kwangdong isn't great, it's only okay, and there's also a monster-fed Samira. And Samira does skill really well, and there isn't really range on Kwangdong either, so they have a very short-range comp that basically wins by running into their opponent and then gunning them down. You can kite back a little bit, you know, you can maybe set up an individual pick with Courage, but there are 3 monstrously fat members on Kwangdong, and there is only 1 Lee Sin.
Yeah, this is the problem. It's also like one of those kind of plays itself compositions.
Yeah,
like,
it's an Amuma comp, so you just go in.
Just go in, and also now it's to the point where like Carfe can only make good decisions. Because if you just fight everyone that you ever see and end up pressing your R button at some point,
is this a
you kill
circle
everyone.
comp from Gen.G?
Well,
they
there
have
is 1,
3 circles.
2, 3 circles, yes. 4 circles technically because Samira has 2.
Yeah.
Do you technically have 3 as Amumu?
Well,
because you create a circle around you with Despair.
So Amumu's ult is 1.
Yeah.
That's for the purpose of circle comps.
Yeah.
Then secondly, we have Samira's ultimate.
Yeah.
That's a circle.
Yeah.
And then we have Renekton's ultimate.
Yeah.
AoE circle.
Gore Drinker, also a circle.
Yeah.
And
but
like,
for example,
Meek, also a circle.
Repel doesn't count.
No.
It's not a valid circle.
No, it's not. No, nothing that Elise has is a circle,
no.
Unfortunately. Sadly for Elise fans. Cocoon going to go white. Actually going to connect, but doesn't really do anything. So that's why I said it went white. Because nothing really happened as a result. This Baron has been alive for 50 seconds. We'll see how long it actually stays alive this game, or whether Gen.G are going to be capable of taking it without getting into flip territory, which is a word that we don't really want to be talking about, because challenger teams do like to throw that coin into the air.
It's not really a coin when you're this far ahead. Well, kind of, but it's more of a 70-30 type of coin. You know, you waited a little bit. You're still giving it some opportunity to land. Yeah. But it's kind of rigged. Overall, the Gen.G composition from this point on can just set up vision, and then Kwangdong are forced to walk in and face check, which no one can really do, and if they get caught by a cocoon, they die. If they get hit by a bandage toss, they also die. And if they get engaged on with the deficit that they're in, they're probably also dead. So overall, not great.
No, it's somewhat subpar. We're not going to come over here and come over here and clear out some vision. It was just placed down, and they're just going to start off the Baron, because why not? You may as well. Lospa's going to come in here. Look at all the damage. That is a very, very dead Baron Nashor. Fortunately, Purple Worm no longer exists, so survived for about 2 minutes. We've had them survive longer than that. Here in Challenger, it's Very close to a 10,000 gold lead, though. And we don't like to say that things are over until it's over, but I would say that the fat lady is well and truly preparing to reach the stage. She's like, she's walking up the stairs now.
So this gives us the opportunity to use some of our usual PSAs.
Yeah, that's true.
So one of them, that's my favorite, is if you're looking at this and you see these players make mistakes, and you're like, oh man, these players are not good. You don't understand a lot about how competitive sports work. And, you know, maybe try to be better about that.
Yeah, or just educate yourself. Yeah.
Well, I didn't want to go, but basically, yes. Try to be a little bit nice about it.
I have a question. X-Chip Potato says, is Aphelios support viable?
Yeah, sure. Just only have Gravitum gun.
Only have Gravitum. That is the way that you do it. As Lost is going to get flash kicked. He does go golden.
Wait, he's a Mumu.
He can also press his R button, does do so, and then immediately flashes out. Teleport's going to come forward. His casting is going to dive on top of Lancer. There's the culling doing a whole lot of work. Lancer tries to get that ult, but actually brings the Renekton closer to his teammates, which is not what you want. There's the dash forward. Cafe going to get a flash out. And yeah, they couldn't kill the support Amumu. Discuss.
Makes sense. Lospa is fairly tanky, as is. Also at stopwatch, so completely fine there. And if that's anyone else, it's probably pretty good. Renekton is, you know, also not going to work. But if you get Quid, Carfe, or Winner there, near the shutdown, that'd be nice. I like the gusto and the go-getter attitude from Kwangdong Freaks.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter in this game, but it might matter in a future one.
It may, you know, having a go out and do it type attitude is definitely a good idea. Gen.G will now collect themselves their third Drake of the game. Hextech Soul certainly going to be a good one here. Kwangdong Freaks are trying to pick up the pieces that is their map right now, which is not necessarily the greatest thing. Hopefully they are just chilling out and getting ready for game number 2, which I would say the best sort of idea would be.
And the more we see of competitive League of Legends on the current patch, the more it does feel like we have gone back to draft early game, snowball the game, and win. And this is Challengers. This isn't really representative of the meta at large. Obviously, you always get meta pockets when having a league that has players that are as inexperienced as these. But,
okay, let's see whether Cleaver can actually find something here. The kick goes out onto Carpe, but he blade whirls the tidal wave, which is absolutely not what you want. Still gonna pick up a double kill, does eventually go down as the Draven picks up his first of the game. Kasante is going to fall though, and Bull, the last man left standing. Gen.G not necessarily finding the landslide that they were looking for, but it's only a bottom lane left, and it looks like they will still be able to break open the base.
Also on Soul Point, so in 3 minutes, they can get themselves that Hextech Soul. One upside, I don't know how much gold Bull is sitting on. If Yundo was listening, you know, he'd tell us. Because he got both a cash out and a shutdown. Ooh. So I wonder what he's going to buy. Let's maybe we can check, Drake check.
Yep, keep your eye on it.
See how much gold he's going to get from literally just walking up and last hitting here.
Yeah, so that was 700 and 800.
Gold.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice.
Not too bad at all.
That's a pretty good amount of gold.
So 1.5k from just that kill alone. Infinity Edge is now done. Oh, was that a 900 that popped up?
So,
I thought it was an 800 and 700.
There you go. He's got AE now. Good for him.
Not too bad at all. Has the collector, of course, both of our AD carries have a collector here, because that's what we like to do. We like to collect, and at least Bull was eventually able to do so. Decent little cash in. We'll see how relevant it is going to be as this game continues. No broken base, so I told a little bit of a lie there. It is instead Kwangdong Freaks being allowed to try and salvage what they can find on the map. Of course, they will continue to fall further and further behind because they don't have access to their jungle or things like that.
Or the map in general.
Yes.
And Baron coming up in about a minute. And this is where we actually do see Challenger comps struggle a lot more, and even some of our weaker LCK teams, which is, we have a lead. Now what? Because if the opponent is just clearing waves and not really giving you an angle or trying to fight you on footing that they can't win, then you have a couple of options. You can either dive, which the Gen.G comp does extremely well, but 5v5 diving still is going to feel like somewhat of a risk. Might not want to take that. Or you can get the neutrals, which in about 40 seconds, just run straight to Baron. Full vision denial is at the ready here, so we should be able to walk up, get that, then get yourself a Hextech Soul, and then maybe try to sync up some waves, you know? Push Quid in one lane, casting in another, free people in the final lane, and then just keep pushing.
Yeah, I think it does seem like a relative road to victory here, as Lancer does manage to get a wolf camp.
Is this a replay of the broadcast?
A replay of what broadcast is the question?
Well, this is definitely...
It's all right. Raymond C has got us in YouTube chat. He is the savior we all need from people asking silly questions.
Why does nobody pick Teemo? That's a valid question, actually. Because that's the real counter to supports now being 80 carries as well. No counter supports or counter 80 carries.
True. Teemo. Because of the blind.
Yeah,
mechanic.
even though he gets outranged by almost everyone. It's Lost
Oh, okay. Lost, let's see whether he can survive this. Does Bandage toss his way in? Survives for the moment as Cleaver's going to take him down in the end. We do have the jungler going down, though. The Akali has been secured, and there's the S rank. Carpe is just massive, diving forward, goes golden, and Lancer is dead as well. The couple of kills from casting, also just a bit of a cherry on top. Give the Renekton as many kills as possible. He put up with a Cassante all game.
And if you are far enough ahead, he can do just about anything. Was that a good threat from Gen.G? No, not particularly, but it doesn't matter. They have earned the right to make a mistake, Atlas. That is the power of capitalism in League of Legends. Look at that. With that gold lead, even if you just try and hard force a fight when your damage dealers are not in position,
we call that dropping your gigantic wallet on top of their skull, Chronicler, and it worked exceptionally well in this particular game.
We have to vote for POG.
I have to also open the pen.
It's tough. There's two options.
Yeah, I think...
You can split the vote.
Yeah, I think I'll split it.
That's okay. There we go.
Although I don't know whether that was even the right choice. I think maybe I should have given it to Quid. Never mind. Definitely was a great game from Lospa. I gave him a random POG vote when he didn't necessarily need one, so I couldn't vote for him again. This time around, just to try and even things out. As you can see, the snowball was pretty beautiful here from Gen.G, and we'll see whether they can continue to do so and pick up their first match win of the season. And after a performance like that, it's actually kind of surprising that they haven't been able to get any wins at all.
And for Gen.G, maybe this is their identity. Maybe they're the phase rush team. Maybe they're the team that just zerks you with hyper-aggressive picks and gets into a position where the game is effectively unlosable. Although, again, it's challengers. But for Kwangdong, the issue arises from both a pretty subpar execution in terms of laning. We see, for example, that very clearly Akali not able to kind of have a feel for this matchup. Let's not forget that these players are like, I know, 16.
Yeah.
Might not have played competitive on Lucian. Mid was good, because of course that has been out of the meta for quite a while now. And as a result, if you get pummeled in lane by the Gen.G composition, then it's going to get even worse. Hey, there we go.
There we go, I nailed
Look
it.
at that.
I think this was a pretty fantastic performance by Winner in the jungle. He was definitely extraordinarily necessary. If they were going to win this game, he needed to get a lot of work done in the early game, and he absolutely did. And allowed his very snowbally lanes to do exactly that. Loved his work.
Did very well. Very important when you get picks like the Elise to actually cash in on the amount of aggression that you're able to showcase. And let's be honest, you're playing Elise with Renekton, Lucian, Samira, and Mumu. You should carry. Your setup is about as good as it gets. And then, to Winner's credit, did that very well. Able to find the early aggression, able to also find early plays, out-skirmish his opponent a bunch of times. And as a result, I think a very justified POG winner. Were a couple of great options. You could go for Lospa or Carfe, depending on how you feel about setup versus payoff. There was also, as you put in, that Quid, who starting like level 1 single-handedly put mid lane in a tough position.
He absolutely did. We are going to go to a short break. When we get back, we'll see whether Gen.G Global Academy can do it again. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Challenger Spring 2023. I'm Atlas. I'm joined by Chronicler here as we work ever harder to create a beautiful and welcoming space for everyone to just experience some League of Legends together. That is what we strive for every single day here on the Challenger broadcast, and we're hoping that you are also along for this ride. A little bit of an update in mod news. Very exciting stuff. We have Lunel undergoing a bit of a check process before she can get modded, and then we'll be able to doctor the chat to create an even more welcoming and beautiful environment to us, for us all to thrive in together.
Gotta be friendly.
It's going to be beautiful. It's going to be an absolutely beautiful time. Shout out to Raymond C, who's continuing to do God's work over in the YouTube chat.
Are these AI casters? Well, ask yourself that.
Leaped.
Would an AI caster say, hello, I am not an AI caster?
Would an AI caster say, shenanigans, potato, gravy whiskey?
We couldn't possibly know. Another question that was asked was,
I don't think they'd ever say that.
Are any challenger teams really good? Depends on your definition of good, and depends on which league you watch.
Don't say stuff like that.
If you watch LPL or LCK, then there's probably plenty of teams that are a lot better. If you watch any other league in the world, you take the top challenger teams.
I wonder what ChatGPT would say the best commentator would look like. Like, I wonder what they'd say like the optimal commentator would be.
You're expecting people from the League of Legends community to be nice in chat? Yes. We are building this community from the ground up.
Indeed.
And I've already talked about this. The greatest weapon in human history is social control. Okay? So if all of you are nice, if all of you are friendly, then we can make a friendly stream, because if people don't get positive response when they're not nice, they'll stop doing it. That's how life works.
That's true. We should just really, what this stream is all about is social conditioning. That's all we really do here. We strive to be better at social conditioning the population, and I think that is a noble goal. Is it not? All right, let's step away from that particular topic for a moment so we can get into the video game. We've had some slight changes here as Zest is making his way in. Casting didn't quite play well enough on his amazing Renekton, and is going to get some time off. That is not the case. I think that Gen.G are just looking to provide as much experience as they possibly can, and so Zest is going to come forward. We'll see what he's going to be playing here. Of course, they do switch around their top lane quite a lot here on the Gen.G Global Academy side.
And overall, for Kwangdong, might be looking at a different pivot in terms of... Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. Guys...
Oh, there was some negativity. I saw some negativity here.
What would he get out of that? Nothing.
I like how it says also like first time chatter with like stars around and then they just say something really horrible.
It's 2 times in a row now.
Yeah, isn't it sad?
Unbelievable.
Yeah. But, you know, we don't have to imagine using handheld mics. We are using handheld mics. And so I don't quite understand. We don't have any fallback though, which is a bit of a shame. I do kind of like being able to hear my own voice so that we know how we sound. Things like that. So it is something to get used to. And sometimes I'm also like talking over here and I've got the mic just away from my face. And so it makes me sound like I'm not actually in the room, which is a little bit of a sad thing as well. So, you know, certainly things to get used to. But, you know, Gen.G might have to get used to winning. And they do have, you know, someone on the team called Winner. And it's kind of ironic given the fact that they haven't been doing very much winning so far. And we'll see whether this is going to be the day of change for Gen.G Global Academy.
If there is an opponent that they should be able to do it to, it is definitely Kwangdong, a team that themselves have severely struggled with finding a strategy that works for them. Previous game as well, draft was kind of all over the place. They had a lot of aggressive lanes, but they didn't actually win any of the lanes because the matchups were not great. Kwangdong are going to be on the red side this time around, which hopefully for them should mean that they can get some better lane matchups, and maybe they will be the ones snowballing this time around.
Yep, I do need to correct myself because I did say last game that the 3 best Drakes were taken. I was obviously lying, just through my teeth, like a big jerk, because there was no Cloud Drake in the last game. Hopefully we do get the best Drake. I'm really glad that I've been kept honest by the chat. Indeed, Cloud wasn't there, and so therefore I just told a blatant lie on the stream, and I hope you guys will forgive me.
You just call it a mistake, which is what it was.
It was a mistake, but really, I should be punished pretty heavily for it. So we'll see whether I do. It might be maybe I'm fired. Maybe I'm just not going to be at work tomorrow. Maybe that's what it is.
You're not at work tomorrow. Tomorrow's your 1 day off.
I knew it. Already punished? Already punished? That's insane. I wanted to be able to work the 12 days in a row. Are you saying that I don't get to work 12 days in a row, Chronicler?
You don't.
Oh, man, that is so sad. Donut2907 said it correctly when he just said Sag in the chat. Oh, big Bible thumbs. All right, so Gen.G back on the blue side once again. Kwangdong Freaks now on the red side this time around. So I believe that's a bit of a change-up. So Kwangdong Freaks, I believe, chose blue side last time around and have now elected for a switch as they're going to ban the Lucian, ban the Heimerdinger. There is also double support bans from Gen.G's side as they ban Varus and Ashe. Let's see what I did there. Because if it's an AD carry, it's also a support, guys. That's the joke. Gen.G, do they ban the 100% win rate support in the Caitlyn? They do not. They just take away the Maokai.
And now for Gen.G, they should be unable to get the same amount of power they had in terms of role laning in the previous game. Maybe we'll have a little bit more of an even game, because even though Kwangdong has struggled a fair amount, that game, for Challenger standards in particular, was very, very one-sided. As Ryze, first pick makes complete sense here. That is the current status quo of incredibly strong mid lane picks, skills very well, able to impact side lanes, has very, very strong grasp in terms of priority as well. So should be able to continuously shove in most lanes that he'll be facing into.
Yep. So Ryze will be that first pick. Caitlyn up and available. Zeri up and available. Yuumi up and available. I would hope to see something like this. Love it. Elise and Caitlyn being locked in here. The bottom lane basically just turned into a steamroll for Kwangdong Freaks, and we'll see what Gen.G do to try and combat this. I don't want to see Zeri Yuumi. I want to see something that can actually attempt to go toe-to-toe with this bottom lane.
It's a little tough with the Heimerdinger and Karma both already being taken away, so I actually really like the draft here from Kwangdong. Jhin is one of the picks that has a decent matchup in the Caitlyn over we have already seen. Most recently, Gen.G main team. So clearly both Gen.Gs taking a note out of the Jhin book as the
interesting
preferred pick into the Elise. Now again is going to be the Lee, which
I think has not a great matchup into the Elise.
I think it's okay, but I am kind of shocked at how readily Challengers picks him up. But then I remember it's Challengers, so just pick something that fights well. And Lee does actually match the Elise in terms of skirmishing. As long as she doesn't get the drop on you on like level 3 or 4 with a cocoon, you are generally going to be able to win a lot of the 2v2s when executed well. So do think Lee combined with the Rise is a lot of power there, but playing into Lucian or Lux rather, and the Caitlyn together already not going to be very fun. Immediate bans. I wonder if they also ban Lospa's Blitzcrank here. I'm not kidding.
I wouldn't mind it. Of course, Jin is technically a flex pick. We have seen it in the support role so far here in 2023. So it could be something that Lospa picks up.
It's going to be
himself.
Blitz.
Well, Blitzcrank left available like you're talking about. Set and Yone banned away here. As of course, Quantum Freaks do have the ability to go towards double AD lanes. The Gnar is going to be picked up, just a comfortable blind pick, of course. Ryze and Gnar, a combo of champions that we've seen many, many times. Of course, starting in 2018, it was the T1 special in that year, or I guess the SKT special.
Hold
As, are we going to go for the hard counter?
It's looking like that.
Zest Aurelia hard counter into the Gnar lane?
Well, we don't. Is it okay? So this might be a Lee top.
Ooh, that would be a
Lee
heck of a
top
lot of fun.
into the Gnar.
Unless it's Sejuani support, which we don't necessarily like all that much.
Into Caitlyn Lux, I don't think you're going to have a very good time.
Sejuani top used to do well into Gnar.
Could also be an option.
That's a Yuumi. Yuumi Jin. Ooh, I remember seeing this in a certain T1 game.
Yeah, remember that? That was fun, right? That ended well.
That ended really well. Oh, what a great combo.
Jin, Yuumi.
Wow, they're going to have such power in the early game Chronicler.
Every T1 fan that is like anxiously awaiting the D+ matchup, like immediately felt
so much
a dark
activated
cloud,
PTSD.
A dark cloud around their heart as this Yuumi was locked in.
Oh no, Gopjang, yeah, completely agree. The Aurelia being considered and will be locked in for Cleaver in that mid lane. This is a guy that's played 3 games so far on the Yone. He does very much enjoy his melee assassins in the mid lane. We do have that double AD. Quantum Freaks have, like, I would say 15 times better draft. I go with 15 times better.
Ooh, I'm not sure.
Is it 25 times better?
No, I actually
80 times
I
better.
don't hate the Gen.G draft.
600 times better.
I don't hate the Gen.G draft.
Oh, I do.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like it at all. I feel like they get outranged by a country mile. I feel like their bottom lane is just going to fall over in a heap. And I think it's quit against the world, but he's into an Aurelia and Elise.
I don't hate it. I think that the Kwangdong composition, while, as you're saying, extremely strong, also has an incredible amount of pressure on it to get a lot done in the early game, because both Elise and the Aurelia are going to have a really hard time, and I actually really like the Gen.G top side. I also think that as much as we joke about the Jin Yuumi, it is actually the type of lane that I think should be able to stand up to a decent amount. Obviously, it's going to be very execution dependent, and you don't have a lot of room for mistakes. But if you can get to, say, level 6 without a problem, you can set up around the Jin Yuumi ult combo, maybe try and get Ryze to roam towards the bot side as well. Pre-6, you're definitely able to get a laning lead on the Aurelia, so we'll see.
We shall see, indeed. Maybe I did overstep my bounds. Maybe the level of negativity was slightly too high. But I do like the experimentation, do very much like Lee Sin top lane. I just don't know whether it's going to work out this time around as let's
headbang.
Heck yeah.
Next time I'll join you.
Yep, I got it.
Oh, Courage got the memo. That's PTA Elise. There we go.
Heck yeah.
They understand.
All right, well, he's
So-
definitely going to do some battle.
Overall, if Kwangdong don't get 2 kills before 10 minutes, I think Gen.G win this game.
All right.
If
There is
they
certainly
do,
a rise.
If they do get a lead, then the game does become very tough for Gen.G, although not unplayable. I do think this composition has a lot more comeback potential than what we saw previously, which is why I don't hate it quite as much. And I do think that also a lot of credit goes over to Kwangdong for actually being able to get a way better draft here, because win lane, win game, kind of the name of the game in the current state of League, and particularly here in Challengers, where even though there's a lot of throws, teams also don't really know how to come back. As Quid, you are not winning level 1 against Aurelia. That is a bit of a disaster, although...
Oh, wins the trade, never mind.
Not too bad. Well, yeah. I do think Cleaver's still not going to be too sad. Exhaust from Quid as well. Kind of love that.
Yeah, and it's Exhaust Conqueror Rise as well. He is doing some battle. Zest, this is one of those super mega hard counter lanes if the Lee Sin is really, really good. We saw Rascal do this in the LCK. He was absolutely amazing at it. Exhaust going to be cleansed here as Cafe down extraordinarily low. Is anyone surprised by how this lane has started off? I don't think so. Even on farm, however. So there's that. We are 5-5. So maybe, just maybe, Jin Yuumi is just as oppressive as Lux Caitlyn. What do you think?
Well, they're not level 1. Come on.
Maybe I have some issues with my former experiences with Jin Yuumi. Maybe that's the problem. As Courage is going to make his way in, he's moving extraordinarily quickly, looking for the cocoon, doesn't find it. Quid with the sidestep, and yeah, Flawless Duet, not going to be quite as the name states. That is a huge flash in. Courage in a bit of trouble, the flash forward, but Quid doesn't find it. Oh no, it's a disaster. Deadly Flourish will connect here onto Bull, but Cafe is likely just dead. The flash comes in, beautifully done, and Kwangdong Freaks, very surprisingly, are going to win the early game as Lux Caitlyn into Jin Yuumi.
Who could have seen it coming?
No, not me. Absolutely no idea how this could happen.
You know what you do in this scenario? You blame jungle.
Go next.
No, you blame jungle. Blame jungle. Come on.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I don't know why Winner was in that mid lane trying to get first blood against the Aurelia and get the rise ahead when he could have been down here.
Wasn't ganking bot lane, and yeah, especially with cleanse down, the moment you get hit by anything, you die. So there's not a lot of counterplay to that one. And
Angie Foxtrot, thank you so much. I hope that Rusty's proud of me as well. Maybe I should send him a message, as that is a very aggressive safeguard forward. Flawless Duet going to come through again. Quid going to need to use the exhaust. Gets a fair bit of value on it, as there's an Arctic Assault. Cleaver going to have to immediately flash away from this one. As Winter's Wrath comes in, he'll need a little bit more to get this one done, as the Light Binding not going to quite connect, and Winner is just dead, guys. That is the 2 kills that you were looking for. Kwangdong Freaks are just doing a fantastically good job.
Now. Yeah. It's pretty over.
Are we going to go with 80 times better? Or do we think 15 times better was correct?
Well, I liked your initial assessment.
15 times?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But is it truly over if it's challengers?
Yes.
I don't know.
I mean, I think when it's like, I don't know. When it's
if
going
this
to game
gank had
3,
worked, I think it'd be a lot better. But it didn't. Ando actually, really nice roam timing here, right? Coming back straight out of base, walks towards mid. And yeah, the game state now was very rough.
Yeah. It's not a great one. However, Jin does have a slight advantage when it comes to farm.
There is also
Yeah.
a rise, which
True.
as he hits 6.
Something scaling, something.
Well, that's the problem. I don't know to what extent you're ever going to get priority in an Aurelia lane. And if you don't get priority, that's what we're talking about. Yeah, that's not
Cocoon
good.
connects onto Winner there.
Oh, no.
Ooh, Spiderling value. Look at that, Winner getting a little bit of extra farm there. But Courage is super far ahead right now as Quid will get hit by the Cocoon. And in goes Courage for more of that PTA value. You love to see it. Quid throwing random Qs around as Lancer, not sure about that one, but also not sure about Zest's Q. As we are just going to have a gentleman's agreement as both top laners back away from one another after doing 0 damage whatsoever.
As Cleaver is level 6.
Man, Courage is playing some really good tempo League of Legends.
Well, he's Elise with these lanes. Again, he should just start banning Elise. Oh, he's dead.
Oh, dear.
He's dead.
That is not the winning move. Repel is going to come forward.
Unless...
Deadly Flourish is pretty good, though.
Unless...
As let's see whether he survives. The answer is yes. Has a cat. The cat is going to sort him out. So, as I just learned, boars and cats, good friends. So, Bristle and Yuumi hanging out together. Sejuani is going to take Bristle home for a little bit of a rest, a bit of a kip, one could say, as Cafe going to try and move towards his, I don't know what, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
doesn't
so there was
quite
actually...
work out there as Realm Warp is going to give another kill to Quandong Freaks. Love to see it.
So that right there is a great example of why, even if you might have a nice idea, the execution of it really matters. Because the idea there is that Cafe walks forward a little bit, and then they get baited in, and then he cleanses, and then Quit comes in, and then wipes them. But Cleaver was roaming, and Carfe also died immediately. So, yeah, I think we can call it again.
Yeah.
7 minutes in.
Well, I called it from draft personally, but I'm glad that we made it to 7 minutes in, as this was very sad.
At this point, I'm really hoping that Kwangdong still find a way to lose, just so.
I mean, I am doing my very best to jinx it as well as I possibly can. Gen.G experimenting is, I think, a really good way of talking about this game. As, of course, this is Challenger, and getting as much experience is actually a really, really good idea. On stage, things like that. So 3 games, that's what you want.
Would you say everything's a scrim?
Yeah. I would say that. Quandong Freaks, of course, in the LCK also think it's a scrim. You could imagine that in Challenger, is that even, I don't even know. But I imagine they would have a very similar idea on how to get the most out of their practice time.
So how have you been, Atlas?
Look, I've been all right. Somewhat,
there is...
feeling a little bit tuckered out. It's been a fair bit of work this week.
Yeah, eventually, when you talk about too much League of Legends,
yeah,
you start somewhat disassociating, and it gets weird.
It does.
It gets weird in your head. I don't know, especially
I
like
start taking
especially
things personally,
looking.
you know?
Well, yeah. Well, also looking at these drafts, I'm like, what did I like about the Gen.G draft again? Like, is this just maybe your way? So hear this out. Hear me out.
No,
maybe,
I think what you were doing, you were trying to
I,
counteract my inane amounts of negativity.
I kind of wanted to, yes. But we have very different coping mechanisms, right? We've been friends for 2 years now.
Yeah.
And you cope with T1 losing Game 5 against RNG and breaking your heart.
Yeah.
By being mad.
Yeah.
In Atlas fashion.
Yeah.
You know, you throw that anger in someone else's face. That's why you hate the draft. It's not about the Gen.G draft. It's about that match. But
well,
me,
I also hate the draft.
Sure. But me,
I'm giving them full credit.
I try to rationalize it.
Uh-huh.
I try to explain it away.
Ah, true.
I try to, you know, it goes inward. I'm like, maybe they can salvage this. Maybe they're good enough. No, they're not. It's challengers. What are you talking about, Chronicler?
Yeah. It's a bit of a shame. It's a bit of a shame. It's especially a shame because Gen.G played a very similar draft in Game 1 to what Quandong Freaks are doing to them right now. And so they probably should have known better, is the way that I'm sort of thinking about it. As a Losper, Clean's going to have to come out here. Final Spark comes through as well. And the bottom lane continuing to have a rough time. Not too far behind when it comes to farm, things like that, but now they're down a couple of Summoner spells. Quandong Freaks should be able to get more plates, and so that money will continue rolling on in.
What really gets me is that Zest has picked up this Lee, which was the Rascal Classic, if you have forgotten, and then is now 20 CS down in what should be, I guess, a counter lane with no jungle intervention. I don't get it.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
Yeah, it's difficult. Quit gonna get a bit of damage here onto Cleaver. W not gonna find the mark. And yeah, we're gonna see that disaster of a lane that you were talking about. Although the game is kind of eroded around Zest this time around. He hasn't been necessarily all that relevant.
It's when
in this game.
when you build like a sandcastle on the beach.
Yeah.
And yours is like a little bit further back, and you see the tides coming up, and all the other sandcastles are like already, they're sinking in the sand, and you're like, oh no, that's not gonna happen to my sandcastle, right?
Yeah, no, that's...
I'm safe,
That's when you
right?
start building the patio a bit closer to the beach. That's what they decided to do.
It's fine, right?
Yeah. They started to invest.
Oh,
all right, there's
there
a
we
bit of a
go.
kickback. Zest, let's see whether they can lock down Lancer here. Let's invest flashes. Let's do it. Let's lock down this kill, and they do so. First kill for Gen.G on that top side.
Amazing. Perfect.
True.
Let's ignore the rest of the map. Let's ignore what's happening there. If you're a Gen.G fan, take this win in stride. And as a Kwangdong fan, your thought process right now is, well, can we always get red side?
Well, I mean,
Is red side just
Sajax
OP?
actually had the perfect reminder for everyone watching, and us included. The question isn't whether Kwangdong Freaks can snowball this to a win. The question is whether they can throw. And I think every game is throwable.
Oh, yes.
Let's be honest.
Absolutely.
So I just want to say thank you to Sajax for making sure that we keep ourselves in the right mindset.
There is a Lee and a Yumi and a Rise. You know, those 3 champions can win games. Well, I don't know about Lee.
I mean, there is an enemy Nexus on the Rift that can die. If
Okay, well, I know you're. Well, now
taken.
you're just being facetious. I don't think that was called for at all.
No, I think it's
or
actually
necessary.
very important. It's very important to remind everyone that every game is in fact winnable. If you believe
Well, is it
hard
really?
enough. Yeah. I mean, this is about as far from it as you can possibly get. However, technically, it's still possible. As Cocoon is going to go slightly wide. And we've got another battle here towards this bottom side. It's only an assist that Zest is up. And remember, there is a lot of farm in favor of Lancer. Meganar coming in as, all right, that's a bit cute. Stands aside from it, but you just press an R button and maybe Lancer can make this one. Oh, some sick play. Let's see if, no, he just walks into the wallop. That's not what you want. Q is going to miss. Oh, Zest, keep it together. Keep it together.
You can do it,
keep
Zest.
it together. You can do it. Alcove Gaming. Alcove Gaming. Go back to the Alcove. Why are we watching the team fight? We don't want to see this. The Nova fell down. Oh, we didn't even get to commentate it. All right, there's an ulti from Cleaver. And is probably a dead quid, but we just don't care. We don't care.
Why?
We want to celebrate. We want to revel in the victory of the Lee Sin.
Okay, Zest is gonna. Well, his team is losing, so Zest is gonna get subbed out, right? We're going back to. We're going back to casting, right? It's his fault.
I think we will continue casting
his fault.
throughout the series. Yeah.
Look at Zest. He's the one difference. In these 2 games.
Oh, here we go. This is. We don't even need to commentate.
We already did.
Oh, Q gonna miss. Zest walks up to him, kicks him into the alcove.
No, but that was not the cool part.
Love to see it.
That was not the cool part.
That was the part we missed, though.
Well, yeah, but I wanted to see the other part again as well. You don't just watch the ending of a movie, Atlas.
You don't? It's a far more efficient way of finding out what happened.
Have you ever, and I want you to be honest with me, watched just the ending of a movie?
Yeah, when I turn on a movie and it's on the TV.
Outside of that very specific situation?
No, never. Not even once.
Okay, there you go. I want to see the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not in this case. I'm okay with skipping to the end. Because we already saw it. We already saw the movie.
Yeah.
I'm a rewatcher. I am definitely a bit of a rewatcher. You know, like I watch a heck of a lot of Lord of the Rings. You know, I've seen those movies many, many times. But I just don't know whether I would watch the movie of Lancer versus Zest in the bottom lane more than once.
I would watch it again. I wouldn't watch this game again. Because this game is doomed. This is very over.
But that's a part of this game, you know? That was a part of that was included in the things that happened on Summoner's Rift in this game.
You can treat it as its own like little episode.
Wow, it's 15 minutes and it's a 7,000 gold.
Yeah, I know.
This is even more unwinnable than the first game. And that was really unwinnable.
I personally would argue that this one is more winnable just because...
There's a guy called Winner?
No, just... Oh my God. That one hurt me. That one hurt me a lot.
It is true, though.
That one really got me.
It is true.
No, as far as... Compared to the previous game, in terms of champions that are on Gen.G, I would argue that their chance of coming back in this game, even though they are, again, minuscule, are higher. Because in the previous game, there was nothing that made me believe. And in this game, there is Yuumi.
Oh,
and Rise.
It's the Kips. That's not an that's an OPL player. That's an OPL player lost. What? He now plays in the LCS, but he is originally OCE talent.
Commentators calling the game is such boring.
Well, you're such boring. All right, Mr. Ducky Tom says, have you watched Memento?
I have watched Memento, but it's been a long time. I don't remember everything.
Probably due for a rewatch.
Could do it.
I would say. 100%. Yeah.
Why are the casters so pessimistic? Well, let me tell you a story about snowballing in challengers. There are many ways to throw a game in this league, but even for challenger standards, I have seen maybe one throw in, I don't know, like from a position like this and like maybe two.
I don't remember watching Memento. Kevin Kim, you're an intelligent man, and I got it. I understood it.
And yeah, I personally, if we're being 100% honest, I don't like calling games over when they're over. If this was the LCK, we would try to make it a little bit more.
Would we?
Well, not in this scenario, no. But in many games that are actually over, we're, well, I don't know if we're smart, but we're not as dumb as we might seem every now and then.
I've sort of stopped, because like I think when a game's over, you really got to call a spade, and this is well and truly a shovel of a game. You know?
What's the difference between a
spade and a shovel? The flatness of the thing that you do the digging with.
That's the difference?
Sure. I think there actually is a difference.
Oh.
I don't know why I know that, but
really
I've looked it up because I didn't really know. I think it's like slightly to do with the shape of the blade. Yeah.
Interesting.
One is used for digging, the other one's for moving. There you go. Bit of a team fight here. Some teleports coming in. There's immediate kickback onto Courage. Final chapter might just be that for Kwangdong Freaks as they are falling apart at the seams. Bulldo is going to pick up a kill there. The Aurelia is going to lock down the Yuumi. Zest is almost dead. And while I say that, Kwangdong Freaks are still going to win this game. Optimism.
Got a shutdown, though. That's big.
Yeah.
Nice.
How do you feel about trowels?
What's a trowel?
Similar to a spade.
I gotta say, my English doesn't reach that far, Atlas.
A trowel is often
you know the Dutch word for it?
Oh, what is it?
No, I'm asking if you know.
Oh, no, of course not. Okay. Probably similar to trowel.
Oh, is a trowel like one of the tiny ones?
Yeah, one of the things you use for gardening or for putting on plaster.
I don't even know if I know the Dutch word for that, actually.
Interesting.
I feel like I should.
It's
been a while.
There's a fight that happened, and Gen.G didn't have wallets that were heavy enough to be invited to the good part of the team fight. Sad.
Well, they got a kill, which was nice. And Zest overall is still continuing. A nice game. Personally. Is this how Challenger League is?
Kinda.
Yeah, sometimes. And if you're wondering, what have I just wandered into? Like, what is going on? Why? Who are these players? Why are the casters insane? And why is chat so nice? Well, we will answer all three of those questions. Which one
in due time. I want to talk to Annika Lol, who says Gen.G are almost 10k gold behind. It's the first chat. And I like to see people using their first chat to say something constructive or something informative.
It is informative.
We don't have
any gold advantage.
I don't often look towards the top of the screen. No. And right now it's about 8k, but I think that a bit of inferring is absolutely fine. As Lancer is looking for a 1v2, picks up his boomerang, not going to quite find it there, but spots two people in this bottom lane. The rest of Kwangdong Freaks, they make the smart call. They move towards the Baron.
So, back to our questions.
Cordless Battery is a great name. Absolutely fantastic name. Just wanted to say that. Anyway, continue. Yes.
So we have three questions. Who are these players? This is Challenger.
Where is Pyoshik?
Where is Pyoshik?
He's in North America.
He's actually not doing too hot.
No, actually, no, he was fired.
Yeah, he's replaced by Mark.
Has now replaced him.
Which I didn't even really understood how funny that was, because Pyoshik means Mark. Really, I didn't get that one at first.
No, he's a,
no, it's a kind of, I know the story. I don't know why I didn't remember. It was funny even without that little bit.
Good.
So this is Challengers. All these players are really good. This specific matchup is a little rough because these are two teams at the bottom of the standing, so it's very messy. And we will not be having a competitive game in this specific game.
Series, yeah.
No, I feel like the third one might be.
The third one might be.
Yeah.
As winner is going to get thrown around like a ragdoll. A little bit sad
So-
there. As Quantum Freak's going to look to break down the inner turret. We do have the Baron buff that has been taken. Deadly Flourish.
Yumi.
Not very deadly. The final
Yumi.
chapter might also not be the last one for Quantum Freaks here, as they are looking to get to game 3. Q going to miss. As all right, Realm Warp. There's some flashes. There's some buttons being pressed here.
Okay.
Zest is going to move into the Dragon Pit.
The tank ain't going
we're
down,
moving
Atlas.
fast. There is a Glacial Prison immediately. The Elise is going to be taken down. Bull is untouched, though. That is the dangerous situation here. Flawless Duet is beautiful. Cleaver gets exhausted, though. He's sleepy, and he's now dead. Winner running away. Does have a cat and a boar. You know, Sejuani wrangling the menagerie, but we will still have this Drake being taken from the Kwandong Freaks, and that was a better fight than I was expecting
How
for
are
Gen.G.
these fights even remotely close? What's happening?
I don't know, but it was a pretty cool play there from Winner, and the Realm Warp was fun, and Kwandong Freaks didn't quite know what to do.
Is this where I make the bet?
Oh yeah, I will get a haircut.
Well, I don't want to do a haircut. I want to do some.
No,
Do I
I'll
die?
get a haircut.
Oh, no, I make the bet. You made the bet last time and you lost your hair.
No, but I need a haircut, so I'm
well,
happy to make the bet.
okay, you can get your
Regardless
haircut.
of who wins, I'm gonna get a haircut.
Okay, well
That's my
thank you
bet.
for sharing that. I will dye my hair.
Ooh, what color are we going? Can I dictate the color?
No, I feel like dyeing my hair in of itself is enough.
I want old man gray. I want you to dye your hair old man gray.
Just gray I can do.
No, not gray. No, not the cool gray. I want old man gray. I want you to try and look as old as possible.
I'm not doing that. I will do silver. Like silver/gray.
Okay, as long as it's as old man gray as possible.
If Gen.G get back, no. If Gen.G get back in this game, I will dye my hair silver/gray.
All right, beautiful.
There we go.
As long as I can talk to someone and make sure that they understand that it needs to be as
I
old
will-
person
I
gray
will
as
not be
possible.
taking you with me to the salon. I'm not going to trust you on that one, Atlas.
Oh, you have to though. So how do you honor the bet?
I will just do it. I seem to recall that there were 2 more. Also, might I remind you, I talked you out of way worse bets. Hold up.
That is true. All right.
You're trying to make it worse for me?
Get a flash.
Unbelievable.
No, I was just pretty committed to the gray. I just want to see it. It's for science. Tower goes down in the mid lane, but Gen.G, they still have a chance here. They still have a chance. We still have a chance for old man gray hair chronicler. It is a possibility. As this inhibitor turret's going to go down, but don't worry. Don't worry, it's fine. We just haven't quite got there yet. Nara's going to come in. Quid is pretty dead, but they still have a chance. Don't worry. This is just the rise. Just the rise. He's almost Flame Horizon. Doesn't even have a fully stacked Rod of Ages.
Yeah, Jin is really the type of hyper carry that can come back in these type of situations.
See what I'm saying? That's the kind of positivity we need to see here. As Quantum Freaks have taken some damage on some of their champions, and they will now leave, giving Gen.G the ability to rehabilitate, to get themselves back into the mindset to win.
People don't know this is a solo cast, and Atlas is doing both voices.
Evil Merc, how did you know?
Okay,
Chronicle is actually asleep in the corner of the room.
Let's do a little bit of extra Dutch accent. This is Atlas still. The secret is one of us casts for 2 people, and then we can both get extra naps in.
Yeah, and that's what's happening. So currently
Yes.
Atlas is sleeping, and I'm doing my best impression of him, and I'm Chronicler.
And
Don't you like them stroop waffles though?
you know how
Chronicler?
to, you know how to say it. I taught you this. Come on, man.
Stroop.
So
Stroop.
Stroopwafel.
Stroopwafel.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was it.
I'm
I
proud of
forgot
you.
that it's like I need to think of it as like a light that goes on and off really fast, and a thing that you can win if you take a little bit of paper from the person and you can you can get a meat platter at the RSL.
What are you talking about?
A strobe raffle. Right? It's the Kips. I think those question marks were well deserved. Last remaining inhibitor turret is going to go down as we get back to the game. Winner looking for the Giga flank. All right, he finds the Lux. The flash forward from Quid. Can they make it happen? Courage. Oh, he's going to need so much of that.
They're cooking!
As Lancer, okay.
Let him cook!
There it is. In goes Zest. Out goes Zest. He's not dying today. As now Cleaver may get cleaved himself. Oh God, the gray hair! Can you feel it? It's coming in. And in fact, I might not need to go to the salon to get some myself, Chronicler.
It's happening!
Oh my goodness, Zest, he gets a sick kick! Oh God, that was a massive blast cone. I don't think Winner even knew that it was gonna be that big. The Aurelia is gonna go down. The Caitlyn is too. Courage is dead! Oh, we might be doing it. We may not be going to game 3 today. We might be going to get a haircut.
It's fine. It's fine. They have 2 inhibs down. The Lancer's gonna TP. It's okay. They can end the game. Wait, they can actually end the game. Lancer can just TP. What?
Well, he's up in
Gen.G.
a second,
Gen.G,
and
your base.
immediately the teleport is coming
Gen.G,
in.
your base.
Yep, the teleport is going to come from Zest. Let's see whether he can defend here. As he's at half health, Andal's over here. He can't defend the Baron. Gen.G are gonna take it. Oh, the final spark, and Quid locks it down. All right, Lancer's Meganar. The Wallop's going to miss. So is the Q. Missing skill shots is something that these top laners have done quite a lot this game. It's going to continue happening.
It's okay. It's
Gen.G,
okay.
take
It's
the
okay.
Baron.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. They get a relevant soul, right, Atlas? Oh no. Okay, they don't. Okay, they don't. But they have fed Caitlyn. They have a front line. It will be
We were
okay.
talking about something interesting before this.
Well,
What was the conversation?
I don't know.
Don't quite remember either. It was really fun though. Oh well. What can we do? FaZe Brenda Gaming says, is it missing or is it dodging? You got to look at the positive side. That is absolutely correct. And I think that is something that I should really work on throughout this cast.
A little worried. Atlas, how did you feel when you knew?
Well, I personally really like Zest, the Protoss player here in Korea. I'm really hoping that he does well at IEM, which is going to be starting next week.
It's one of your worst non sequiturs I've ever heard.
Sorry, when you say like, referring to that thing that we were thinking about before, I just think about what I'm thinking about at the time, and I just go with that.
So Zest, if Zest gets, regardless of obviously,
I think if he gets
Gen.G
enough
win,
immortals, he's just going to win. I don't know whether this is necessarily a Blink Stalker game, but I do think that if he relies on his Robo, then I think we're going to see a really good game.
I really like the early warp tech he went for, but I'm not quite sure whether or not he's going to be able to withstand the SCV count is high here.
Are they going to work here? Not happening yet. He needs to build more gateways.
I don't know if he can withstand this pressure.
I know.
Like
it's just too
all
hard.
in needs to work. Like his economy is too far behind.
They need to slow down the creep. The spread is just too high.
No,
you can see Courage is walking
Come
so
on,
quickly.
man. It's clearly a Terran versus Protoss. You can't add more.
What?
There's no fur.
Terran doesn't exist in StarCraft 2.
I was talking about SCVs.
Oh, you were?
I was. Never listened to me, man.
I should have been listening, shouldn't I? As winner is going to try and escape here.
They're going to win. It's fine. My hair's okay.
Is it though?
Yes. They have
Is
the
it though?
Yes. The inhibs are down. And then they can free inhibs. You can't come back from free inhibs. You can't.
Oh, unless you kill the
You
Nexus.
can't.
Well,
right?
Okay, some bullets flying in. There's the flash from Cleaver, who's going to use his ultimate as well. Quid goes golden. Eats a bunch of cooldowns from Kwangdong Freaks. Deadly Flourish! And they're looking for it. Goes golden, does the Lux, and is now going to try to escape. The Gnar, though, isn't going to be so lucky. The Elise goes down, and I have a feeling we got some gray hair sneaking into that forehead, Chronicler. As winner is now going to chase down the Lux. You are super dead, buddy.
No!
The minions might win the game, so there could be that.
Well, they can't end.
Hold on to that one.
They can't end because the Nexus is open.
It is naked Nexus time.
I'm not feeling so good, Mr. Atlas.
Who's cooking? Someone's cooking. Someone has been allowed to cook, and I'm pretty sure it's becoming Gen.G.
They have Uni. I should have known.
Yeah. It's the late game powerhouse combo of Jin Yumi.
So,
I think Gen.G just really wanted to see you with great hair. Inspirational. Absolutely inspirational.
if Kwangdong can get the Elder Flip right, which with 3 inhibitors should be definitely a possibility, they can just win the game. If they can coordinate teleports with Lancer and Cleaver, they can just win the game.
Did you ever play Scorched Earth when you were a kid?
No, not familiar.
It's a game where it was on DOS, and you would just have tanks. And that gold graph actually looked like a Scorched Earth map, because it normally has like a canyon in the middle and then comes up to even on the other side. Anyone else really old?
You want people to make boomer jokes?
Yeah. Anyone else really old in the chat? Let me know. Let me know whether you know what Scorched Earth is, because it was a great game. It was absolutely fantastic. Not enough holes for a Scorched Earth, this man knows. All right. We do have the ultimate coming through from the Aurelia. The Elise is immediately dead yet again, though. GA has been popped for Zest. He's in position, but the Aurelia is going to go down. And now they're looking for Bull. The bullets are flying in, and they're going to do it again. They're going to win another teamfight. Bull just barely escapes. But for how long and at what cost?
They still can't get out of base!
Carpe might just die to minions.
Yeah, Carpe actually didn't die there. Bull went for a guild force in the middle of that fight.
Carpe, stop walking close to these minions.
The problem is, they don't have any waves everywhere because 2 inhibitors are down.
So I think Carpe almost died to minions whilst channeling his ultimate.
No. Look, so initial setup here is nice, but Bull is just barely doesn't have enough damage. If you can watch your Cleaver takes down Carpe, and then Bull tries to go for the guild force, and if he gets that kill, they probably are fine. Like, because of the Jin bullets, they can't go for an extended fight. If Bull gets that kill there, game's probably over. But again, it doesn't really matter besides making the overall gold more even. Now, Gen.G has a gold lead. Gen.G has a... Oh my god, it's happening.
There's 35 seconds on an Elder Drake. This is going to come down to an Elder Flip, and I guarantee you Quantum Freaks are going to win.
They're going in. Wait, they get Baron.
Yeah, that's a big old teleport. Cleaver heading towards this naked Nexus.
Okay.
We've only got seconds remaining on these inhibitors.
No,
as now
you can't die.
No, what?
You can't die.
Buddy, what do we do? Lancer. Oh no. It's not what we want to see, although, let's see. Does get the nab, but the final chapter is going to be there.
Okay, so they get Baron. And again,
they do get
I want to
Baron.
reiterate, they can't leave their base.
Except when they leave their base. That is the only time they can leave their base, is when leaving their base. The Elder, they're going to go back. Now, there are a lot of people heading towards this very open Nexus. It's 4 versus 5.
It's 4
There's
versus
an
5.
opportunity now.
Cleaver's going to die.
Why don't they just leave Quid to just solo? Okay, Quid's just going in. He's going to see what he can do. He goes golden. Now Courage. Can you stay alive? Final Spark actually doing a fair bit of damage here.
Yes.
The Quantum Freaks, I think, are finally going to do it. They just got they just got word that Chronicler could have gray hair as Carpe presses his R button. I think maybe by accident. Cocoon is going to connect. And that is a very dead Jin. They held on. Kwangdong Freaks almost through. But they got the Nexus in the end. And Chronicler is not going to go gray-haired today.
It really had gone to the point where I was kind of hoping for Gen.G to do it because it would have been amazing. Oh my god, so who do we vote? Who do we vote for?
Who represented the power of friendship most accurately in that game? I'm gonna give it to
I need
can I pass? Do I have to give a POG vote? I do, okay.
Well, I'll give it to there we go. Here we go. We have...
I just did the same
Okay.
vote as last time. I thought Winner played really well. No, that's not true. I actually did think that Courage had a fantastic early game. A lot of the reason why Quantum Freaks won the game until they didn't was because they got really far ahead.
We were obviously losing our minds, and
Yes.
we also saw that Gen.G unfortunately wasn't able to actually close out an in, but it was a really cool example of... We were talking jokingly about StarCraft, right? But I actually think that right there you see...
The power of Blink Stalkers.
I wanted to make a good analogy, Atlas. Come on, man. I had a whole thing cooked up. You know,
Yeah,
it's
no,
like, it's
I'm
really
letting
cool.
you cook.
Because,
Go. I'm letting you cook.
Because like in RTS, you actually need to be able to defend your base. You need to actually respect the minion waves. Triple inhibitor is almost impossible to come back from, even if you're way stronger, because of specifically the fact that you can never move out of your base. You don't have the vision. The minions themselves are quite a force to be reckoned with. When you get the super minions out there.
Yeah. And sometimes, you know, you blink the wrong direction. And you travel as a Rise into the middle of an enemy team.
Okay, but I want to really take some flack off of Quid there, because collapsing onto that Gnar, I do think is actually the right idea. The problem is that because
bit was great.
Well, yeah, because they want to hard commit because they're up a member because the Gnar is dead, right? Or was it? No, it was a Reliant they were trying to go in on.
Yeah.
So the idea is correct. It just wasn't enough as the rest of the team wasn't there because they couldn't go because of the open access. As Will Be Andil,
Sick play.
actually really good. As we lost our collective minds, we forgot
DPM by a Lux
that
is actually pretty nutty
he also
from support.
well, he also built Crown. He was still able to do that much damage. So genuinely, to me, really nicely done by him. Great enchanter play, able to hit a couple of consistent bindings, able to win the early game lane, and then play from there.
Yeah. Man, video games has really happened today. Like, haven't video games been played, like, really hard so far today? Don't you think so?
We might get 7 more games.
Oh, I think it's almost
7.
guaranteed. I think we deserve it.
7 more.
Oh, baby. Well, I mean, next match is going to be T1 versus D plus Kia, so maybe we'll have to actually talk about those.
We will.
Perhaps in the final series, we'll have some time to talk about what everyone really wants, which is nothing of note, really. It is time to go towards some highlights, though, and that means that we are going to be taking a short break. When we get back, the final deciding game of this epic series. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to LCK Challenger, Spring 2023. I'm Atlas. I'm joined by Chronicler here, or at least I think I am, as we look to get into game number 3.
Are we real? I don't know.
I don't know. Are we AI?
Could
Still
be.
something that hasn't been proven one way or the other just yet. What I think that is kind of missing from the Challenger broadcast at the moment is very weird stuff being put behind us. Because right now, this is a green screen. If I was to wear a green shirt, I would disappear into the green screen. And that would be really cool.
Oh, we can be on Summoner's Rift.
We could. We could be anywhere. We could be in the bathroom. We could be in McDonald's. You know, we could be anywhere.
Those are your 2 places.
I just picked 2 random places. Yeah. I'm just saying that we could be
You
on the
could
moon.
Be anywhere.
We could be Mars.
Okay, the moon. That's way cooler.
We could be in the eye of Jupiter.
Sure.
It'd be windy. We'd have to get some fans to really bring it out. Although my hair wouldn't move very much because it just doesn't move at all. It's a helmet up here.
I can confirm it's real. It's not. There's not nothing's happening there.
It's powerful.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. So it may not be necessarily that impactful, but we could, you know, put the fan on you, and your hair would probably move a little bit more than mine.
A little bit. Can you guys communicate or see chat? No, we cannot possibly, unfortunately. We are not real, so.
And would you say
could we?
would you say that it'd increase your immersion into our Challenger atmosphere if we were to be in random locations every time we're on camera? Just something to think about.
We could be in a kitchen.
We could be in a kitchen.
We could be cooking soup.
We could be allowed to cook. That could be a thing. People have, you know, been suggesting that people be allowed to cook throughout 2023 thus far. So I think that could be a thing. Could it not?
Sure.
Yeah, we could have just a giant XDD behind us.
I feel like there's limits to, you know, just because we can do something doesn't mean we should.
I never said we should do it. I'm just saying that it is possible. That's the thing that we could
Well,
do.
I feel like by talking about it, you're kind of implying that you want to do it, Atlas. I know you.
I like that there's a lot of XDD happening in the chat right now. I appreciate that, everyone. I don't even think that, I don't think it's been enabled
So, Atlas,
in our stream chat, but it's still happening.
if you had to cook one dish for someone,
Yeah.
you wanted to really impress them, what's your one dish?
Oh, I got a couple. I got a couple of defaults. I've got a white wine cream sauce salmon and peas pasta that is extraordinarily easy.
Sounds good.
But also tasty. I've got a spicy chicken that I also really like. One of Jamie Oliver's that I learned how to cook like 15 years ago. And I still go with it. Cereal is also a good one, but you wouldn't really call it cooking, would you? Microwaving your Wheat Bix does not count. I'm sorry, guys. It's just not how that one works.
You eat Wheat Bix hot?
People do. People have done that before.
I guess it still wouldn't count as cooking.
When are we seeing the Korean barbecue on stream? Classified 13? Not entirely sure. We have no changes to the rosters here as we jump into the draft for game number 3. The exhilarating third installment of Quantum Freaks versus Gen.G Global Academy. Heimerdinger and Karma going to be taken away here as Losper is a terrifying player. Allowing him to play champions is a bad move. Caitlyn and Varus also hitting the bench here as Lucian's currently banned also. So 5 support bans. Absolutely amazing.
No.
What are you talking about? 5 support bans?
3 at most.
Okay.
I'll allow 3.
We'll look for the 6th support ban to come through here as Gen.G considers banning Yuumi, but the Elise is going to be taken away instead. So, Lancer.
Maokai.
What are we doing? Maokai
B1?
definitely an option. Sejuani an option.
Little B1. He's doing B1
Bit of Yuumi.
Sedge.
Bit of B1 Yuumi.
No. B1 Maokai.
Oh, technically it's 6 support bans, right? Because Lehens has actually
is not
played
in this game.
But he has played for Gen.G. Losper has played behind him, and he has also played support Elise. As Ash does come through as the support of choice.
Are we going to see the Jin Mao response again? I actually quite like that. Last time we saw it was used by Gen.G yesterday. Was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday. I don't know, time blends together.
It does. It does indeed.
As much League of Legends as we do as going to be the Sedge. That's really, really interesting. I actually like the Maokai in its current state a lot. I think that the pick also has a decent amount of utility into the Ashe specifically.
Why not both? Because Sejuani's a support.
Ooh, well, no, you can play top Sedge, but you wouldn't lock it on first rotation. Doesn't really make a lot of sense. I don't think.
Oh, that's...
oh, we're back.
Gen.G really trying their very best to not win, is what I'm kind of seeing here. Kwangdong Freaks, let's see how they round out this first round of picks. There's a lot of rounds. There's a lot of rounds. Randall? That's my dad's name.
Ran down, as in because they locked in Zeri.
Oh yes, well they definitely have began that. Tree, going to be employed.
Kwangdong is assembling a lot of pieces.
Ashe
really
Yumi.
Matter.
Let's go Ashe Yumi. Cleaver just going to lock away his Yone. Love to see it. Love to see it. Quid can answer the Yone now if he would like to. Not entirely sure what he's going to go. Is it going to be a brotherly battle as the Yumi is going to come in? So never mind. I was just hoping to just lock the Yasuo. And then they play Zeri mid lane with Sejuani Yasuo bot lane. Because I reckon Zeri just great into Yone. It's just a great matchup, as you guys know. Really, really good for the Zeri in mid.
I'd love to live in your mind for one day. See what it's like there.
Oh, you wouldn't. No one could handle that. All right, so got some bans to come through now, as I believe we're going to look for either AD carry bans or, of course, support bans on the Gen.G side of things. Draven to be taken away from Bull.
Great ban. Love that. And Kalista as well, maybe?
Ooh, yeah. Kalista support could be an option.
Yeah, or AD carry. I don't really know.
Pretty amazing that we've got 8 support bans.
Not Rise. Come on, Atlas.
Support, nah? That's crazy. But I could see it.
What the worst part is you are doing it on purpose, and I know that. But the knowledge does not help me. As oh no.
Hey, it's the Kips is already. He's told me that support Nara is actually good. So there we go. Akali going to be locked away here. Akali versus Yone. Oof, that sounds like a matchup. Bull and Andal. Now to lock away some champions here. We'll see what Bull's going to go with.
Could also still be an Akali flex.
Ooh, that's that Kalista you were talking about. Could be support. Could be AD carry.
Could be top lane. Of options left, so I felt fairly safe that Kalista was likely. We just don't know who's playing what. I would expect it to be Kalista AD carry with Ashe support, but we'll find out.
Flex pick all around the map right now. Right now, I'm assuming that it's going to be Maokai Kalista bottom lane with Ashe in mid lane, Yone jungle, and then they will pick something else. For the top side of the map, I'd imagine Kennen is likely, but Fiora is fine. So there we go. Fiora going to be locked away. Double AD, love to see it. Maokai, soul magic damage, going to be doing a lot of work there. As there is that Kennen that we were talking about. We'll see whether it's going to be of the AD variety that we saw Zeus pick up for T1 in the LCK. This is Challenger, certainly a lot more experimental play to be going on, and Kennen, the AD variety, could be the option. Also, really does a number on Fiora in lane.
As this is the most likely setup for Gen.G, I don't expect there to be any changes in terms of who goes where. Only one that we might keep an eye out for is Bull and Andal, but I expect it to stay the same way as it is right now. And overall, the Kwangdong composition, ton of hard engage. Yone as a pick, I think quite strong, but I am worried that if Courage can get on top of Carfe, the Zeri can get a lot done. And if Zest actually goes for the AD cannon and plays it out well, then I don't know if Fiora is really going to be able to find any pressure inside. And if you don't, then even though AD cannon obviously doesn't love team fighting, I still feel like he would do a better job. Actually, I don't know if it's a better job than Fiora. He really is kind of just a split push exclusive champion, and Kwangdong's engage is good. So, all in all, a lot of options here for both teams. I like the early pressure from Kwangdong a lot more, but I do think the Gen.G top side is quite strong, and their 6 spikes are really good as well.
Yeah, I'm kind of excited about the cannon, even in teamfights, just because you press R and stand on top of Zeri and kind of block the opponents from being able to do stuff if that Slicing Maelstrom's there. So, pretty exciting. We're very, very close to hopping onto the Rift for the deciding game between Kwangdong Freaks and Gen.G. Kwangdong Freaks fresh off a victory in game number 2 and their previous series. Gen.G struggling a little bit in game 2, but their game 1 was absolutely fantastic. We are quite literally on the edge of our seats. Let's hop into it. Hell
Perfect.
yeah, nailed it. I hope you guys at home were ing with us. That is indeed a verb. And if you didn't do it, then I would be very upset. Yeah? All right, can't say your name, but I appreciate you for saying yeah. All right, Dudadunga. Oh,
I remember. It is indeed AD Cannon.
and it's Embryage.
Looks
How
like
you
it.
doing, man? It's been a while.
There is lethal tempo. So, overall, I also want to pay attention to the choice here by Lospa. We have seen Yumis go more often for this Guardian type style when you want to go for very early aggressive trades. Callan did this as well, although if I remember correctly, he went like all in. He went for the, what was it, like, I think he went Shield Bash, definitely went Bone Plating as well, so like really...
Ooh, love
Yeah.
Shield Bash. That is
really
actually
going in hard. Well, also do note, Lospa has gone for the tank support item here. So he's not Quid.
Quid.
Should be fine. I mean, his level 1's not going to feel great. Gonna have to start E, which is very sad.
Yep.
But nicely done there by Kwangdong. Cute little flank.
Indeed.
But will also help them, hopefully, with maybe having a little bit more options in terms of controlling the wave, because Zeri, as of just by herself, has great shove. And if you add Lospa's ability to get in the execute, maybe they can contest level 2 a little bit better than they usually would. Problem is this.
Wow, that is a tempo heal to be used on both sides. Kafe's in a bit of trouble, and there is the Rend. And so
This
Bull
is-
really asserting his dominance.
Yeah, this is the problem, that even with the setup that Gen.G is running, which is specifically tries to be as strong as possible into what Bull and Ando are doing here, this is the current state of bot lane. And it's not very fun.
No, it's bad. And look, Gen.G, should they actually get any sympathy for this? Because they saw what was happening kind of face up after the Ashe was locked in. So they made their bed. Let's see whether they're going to be comfortable while they sleep in it as winner. It was the Freljordian option as far as the champion was concerned that did distract me momentarily. Bramble Smash there from Courage.
Oh, no problem, old chap.
Alright, thank you.
Oh, indubitably.
Well, 3v3 here on the bottom
Still
side.
level. Oh, they hit level 2. That's big. Now you can't dive anymore.
And Courage is going to get news of that. And he's going to look to make his way out. Okay, Bull and Andal still being frustrating. But it looks like Gen.G are still in the game. And if they weren't, then we would get a pause. So,
Look at that.
yeah.
Winner expertly using a Sejuani passive to be resistant to the sapling slow. Unbelievable gameplay.
I drink liquid. That's actually a really good question. What is this casting?
We don't know.
Casting is currently on the bench. Zest was subbed in after game 1, and
They did a really good job
looking forward to
into.
we're looking forward to seeing you know, casting play again, but he's just not there right now. But good question. Thank you for figuring that one out. As yes, we are Zesters now. We are Zesters. Cleaver doing a bit of damage here to Quid. As now Courage is going to make his way over. There's the flash twisted advance. He's under the turret, but I think Quid is still dead. And first blood goes to the Yone.
Very nicely done. Unfortunately for Quid, even with the flash, Courage not in a position where he is risked at all. And if we've seen anything this game, is that early laning phase is everything. And thus far, Courage able to get the better of. And Gen.G could have picked up this Maokai. It was available.
Yeah.
Went for Sejuani instead.
Well, Gen.G really struggling. There's one part of the game that they've not been able to hit the nail on the head in, and that is the draft so far. But Winner is going to come on over, see whether he can discourage Courage from taking his Blue Sentinel.
very awkward way of
I liked it. I thought it was nice.
talking about it. I apologize.
I think it's okay. I actually don't think... oh, we're still... okay, we're still doing this. Okay, we're not giving up.
Well,
As
we'll
long as
see if
bot lane
Winner
doesn't
has the
die.
courage. As he is going to
my
look
God.
for it. Oh, God.
The timing.
This
He
is
knows.
actually the true storyline, as Courage just
he-
takes his blue buff and walks away. Winner wastes all of his time. It's all right. Cafe's going to go home, take his cat with him.
I actually do have to again give credit to Lospa. I think that this setup is quite well done. And even though Winner didn't get the blue buff, I do think there is still a considerable amount of value to him keeping track of Courage, because it is allowing Zest to play as aggressive as he does, right? So Zest going to be able to shove in the next wave, and Lancer is either going to have to risk taking more harassment, or what's most likely right now, giving up a plate. And then when Zest goes for his first back, he's going to be very, very strong, right? Like, the amount of pressure that this cannon is going to be able to put out is going to be substantial. Ooh, 6 is hit. They should try to, at the very least, for something from Cleaver here.
Yeah, let's see what he can do. Quid doesn't have flash, but Cleaver pretty far pushed up in this lane, and Winner is going to back away for the moment. Looking to exit the area. Quid will at least have some leeway with his jungler somewhat nearby. And, oh, there's a cancel of the back once again. All right, Cleaver, the unbound soul is going to mean that he has to go all the way back there, but the ulti comes through. There's the backflip. Quid goes into his shroud and will now back away. Andal was moving up, and it looks like Gen.G won't be able to find too much outside of the flash.
And for Gen.G, do have to use Lospa's heal, which might actually be a problem later on for the bot side of the map. But getting rid of Yone's flash is quite nice. Also means that in a possible fight, because I do actually think that if Gen.G has a good position, they have a chance at contesting a dragon or an early herald. At the very least going for a cross map. It's not looking very hot, and they might get dove on bot side as well. Carpe does have some, so that's nice.
Yeah. He does have some buttons that he can press. No heal, as Andals is back up again, but Lospa had to use it twice. Been getting a lot of value out of it, though. You love to see it. If you think about it, heal is just a little bit better zoomies. So he gets to press the same button kind of twice.
Nice.
Bit of fun there. Bit of trivia for you guys. As Zest and Lancer just booping one another with their abilities. Not really a lane that we need to focus on too much. We do have confirmation, of course. Lethal Tempo gave us a bit of an idea. But Zest heading towards the AD cannon. Shield Bow, Ginsu's, things like that could be coming in. Does like Titanic Hydra with this champion as well. A few different options.
So, you want me to summarize the essay I read yesterday on why the prevalence of AD supports is so high at the moment?
Something range, something.
No, it's actually, there's a lot of elements to it. It was quite insightful.
Okay.
This is the first time, I think, in the entirety of today that I'm genuinely looking for a educational angle.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, there is a couple of aspects. It's a combination of factors, and this is all me paraphrasing from Orcs. If you don't know him, he was an LPL caster before. What he's doing right now is, as of yet, unknown. But he wrote pretty extensively, used to be a professional sport, about why these AD carries in the sport are also strong. And it's a couple of things. Umbroglaive is one of them. Umbroglaive allows you to one-shoot snowball, set up very aggressive vision control. But how do they so consistently snowball? And that's where it gets really interesting, because a large part of that is... It started with specifically Ashe, because Ashe is able to stack her sickle extremely fast because of her Q. Right, so Halo Blades plus Q means that both you're untouchable level 1, you win level 1 against almost any champion, because on the longer trade they can't really get a lot done. And even if you do go volley, which we often also see, you will still not be able to win the extended trades, because you'll still be under the influence of cheap shot, which makes trading very hard, as Winner just walks up and gets a free objective, I guess, as Lospa is probably dead.
Fate's Call does come in. Cafe doing a bit of damage, but he backs away. And the You and Me comes in. Rend is still going to activate on the cat. That's why Callista can be very, very good into the Yuumi.
I think it was already rendered.
She will go down.
I wonder what caused the kill there. Because I think the Rend was already used. Interesting. Nice buffer.
Very, very nicely done. Cleaver still going to die, though, as the backflip comes in. Perfect execution is exactly that. Squid's going to get out.
Might get a replay. The interrupt there was really big, though, on the Yumi W. As...
I believe you still take damage.
Well, I think
if
it was...
you're
Let's check.
target.
No, but I'm pretty sure that the rend comes out earlier, because we see the spears on Lost Spot disappear here.
Oh, yeah.
So...
Oh, did he get the reset? He got the reset from a minion.
Might be, yeah.
So he got the minion reset,
one,
then got
like
an
one more
extra one
spear.
in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So...
Very cute.
Back to learning. That's why you're here. In
True.
challengers. As a winner, it's going on a journey.
All right.
But it ends with him
he's going to
dying.
get challenged pretty grandiosely here, as Lancer does end up taking him down, creating a field on the ground of the healing variety. We'll need to go back towards that top side now, though.
Zest being a shining light, yet again.
Indeed.
So, learning. I already talked a little bit about specifically the Ashe. So, Sickle gets finished extremely quickly because even like all-in supports can't contest level 1 control of the wave. So as a result, you have to seed level 2, which means you're going to be shoved underneath your turret, which means you're going to take a lot of poke. So Ashe stacks her item very quickly. So on her first back, she already generally is able to, even if she doesn't finish it, be quite close, which means she can pick up an early sweeper, and that gives the bot lane the control that it needs, because your double shoving bot lane is... Oh, Zest!
That's a cute little flash. Lancer going to riposte, though, and that means that Zest just looks a little bit silly. Winner's coming over, though. The back. Will it complete? The answer is... Oh, it almost did! And Lancer interrupted it himself! Oh, dear. Winner is going to pick up Turret aggro, and that means Zest survives.
Very nicely done there by the Gen.G top side. And they need those kills, because overall the game state isn't great, but I do think that this is one of the games just because of the Zarya and the Yumi, as we saw last game. No lead is insurmountable when you have a Yumi and a Dream. So, hey, they are going to get bullied off their turret, and generally when you can get one of two lanes ahead, bot lane is the better choice. It's Quid.
Yeah, nice little backflip there, as there's the perfect execution, and the Q will connect. Quid picking up the solo kill onto Cleaver.
Doesn't even need to flash.
Gorgeous stuff. Fate's Call is going to bring the Ashe back once again. Final chapter is decent, as Andal's going to have to flash to get out of the way. Nature's Grasp coming in here as Courage looking to chase this one down, and winner goes, but at least the Zeri survives with her pet cat alongside.
And that's first turret ball as well. So Kwano actually doing a great job here at Snowball in the early game, getting Kalista further ahead. And they need to, because a fat Akali is not very fun for a Kalista to play into, and is going to be a problem. Quid doesn't even have level 11 yet. Doesn't need to use his flash either. And initially, this looks pretty good, but this is actually very well baited out from Kwangdong, because they both know that they are about to get the turret. And Ando going low doesn't matter, because in a way, you know, Kalista Ultimate was the original Yumi W.
Indeed.
Just drag her back to safety. She'll be completely fine. That's 2 Drakes now. Fortunately for Gen.G, this is a pretty subpar Drake. So overall, somewhat of a salvageable situation, as Gen.G, as mentioned, winning top. That's about the only big win they're getting. Although the kills from Quid, I think, are going to start to matter, because Courage is going to have the sole job of making sure... Oh my god.
This is interesting.
Oh,
Winner
okay.
did not spot it, though.
The sole job of making sure that Akali doesn't kill the entire backline. And that's going to be a tough job, because Akali is already fed and
Indeed.
sitting on a 4-stack Darksteel. So, and what we see right now in Ashe is where the inevitable conclusion was going. So you have a double shoving bot lane,
Yep.
right? That gets full control of vision early on, because they finished the item very quickly. And then because of that, they're accelerated both in terms of gold, accelerated in vision, so they can keep shoving, so they can keep getting more plates, because you don't have to be afraid of the jungle, because they know what's going on. And then those plates get turned into an early Umbral Glaive. And it's basically that whole sequence combined with like micro interactions, like Ashe, for example, being able to finish it very quickly because of how her Q works, right? But even on other supports, we've seen Caitlyn do this exact same thing, just by being able to be a nuisance early on. You snowball extremely efficiently. There isn't really a counter, because traditional counters like all-ins don't work when you are going to be half health, or your AD carry is half health. And it needs to go, because it's not great.
Yeah, it's not displaying a heck of a lot of balance. It's absolutely right. Raptor Camp going to be taken here by the Kwangdong Freaks, but it looks like the Brambleback will belong to winner.
And now you might ask, is it a smart idea to read essays on a game after you've casted 6 days of it? No. I don't think it is.
Well, I mean, it depends how dedicated to your craft you are.
I guess. Would you?
No. No, just not that dedicated. Dedicated a little bit more to salvaging what remains of my sanity.
I thought you were going to say Twitch chat.
Well, Twitch chat as well. 4Doos, hi, I'm glad you're here. Very, very keen to see how your chatting experience goes now that you have arrived at Twitch chat. Freak did indeed make a few videos about the bottom lane as well. He is in charge with doing a lot of the changing of it as well. So looking forward to seeing how the future patches are going to go as far as mitigating this problem that you have illustrated to us. Okay, bit of a team fight here. Grand challenge comes through. Winner immediately taken down. And Gen.G, not a whole lot that they can do about it. This is what we were talking about, those Zests standing on top of Cafe. Yeah, making sure that the little Zeri is as alive as she possibly can be. But that ultimate does have a decent cooldown. So now a big window where Gen.G have to be very careful.
So they can actually win those fights if Quid gets backline access, but they were kind of disjointed. And it's tough for Gen.G, especially with a team that, again, these players are all very young. If you think they're bad, you're kind of a dummy. But they definitely are a lot less smart than the players you're used to seeing in your day-to-day LCK games. And if Winner dies just a little bit slower here, they're fine, right? Like, and he does have flash available, so if they can play that out a little differently, and Quid actually comes in there, as long as they can bear the initial brunt of the engage, they can actually win fights. But because they don't, and immediately the front line's gone, there's not really any angle for the fight to work out. And the engage from Kwangdong is quite good, right? You see there as well, you have both your Maokai, who's able to throw an ultimate, then Cleaver immediately can follow up together with Ando as well. So a lot of team fighting power there from Kwangdong. And for Gen.G, to me, their big challenge this game is how do you navigate that initial burst? Because longer fights, right now you won't win. But like later in the game, you 100% will. When your Zeri actually gets online with your Yuumi, as long as you can bear that initial brunt.
Well, Bull is getting towards some items as well, so hitting a mid-game where the Callista will actually be quite powerful. Does have that Ginsu's Rage Blade almost online. That will be definitely a power spike here for Kwangdong Freaks, but like you say, things do generally slow down a little bit for this composition. It is about a 2,000 gold lead, however, so Gen.G, some work to be done.
Atlas, let's play the classic challenger game.
What's that?
Who wins this game?
Kwangdong Freaks. As Glacial Prison comes down, Courage taking a heck of a lot of damage, and he will die first. Cafe going to pick that one up as I change my mind. I think it's going to be Gen.G. Grand Challenge has been issued, but Lancer is still going to die. That's a double now. Certification? Question mark? I don't think so, not just yet, as Cafe standing his ground. He's got a cat, but he's now dead. Zest going to have to flash get himself out of this one as Quid. He's still extremely dangerous, but doesn't have his ulti. As I change my mind back again, Kwangdong Freaks will win.
As we get Savior in the chat, if you're not familiar, ERL support, great guy. Knew him when he would play back in the Benelux with some insightful comments, even with a yellow support item, as we mentioned previously. Good for lane, but you won't have a lot of mana, and with the way Zumi's work now, that is kind of rough. Not having mana regen on Yuumi does mean that in these longer fights, can run into some issues.
Well, SNP Fighter 1v9, Zest is indeed AD, so that you can win the laning phase against Fiora.
And keep winning, which is nice. Also, in this composition, I do think giving Akali Soul AP is nice. Gives her a lot more agency. Oh.
Well, speaking of agency, she doesn't have very much at the moment. Fiora going to take down the Sejuani here, and Quid just forced to run the heck away. Zumi's was used to allow Quid to at least not be mega dead, but he's still having to go back to the fountain. That means that Soul Point is now claimed for Kwangdong Freaks, and it means basically nothing because it's Chemtech Soul. But cool. Nice work. They get closer to Elder.
And to see a great example of why Ashe support is first picked and why you probably should ban it and not give it to your opponents is Andil and just in general Kwangdong having a lot of control. Now this initial fight looks a little bit sussy. Really nice exhaust there in Cleaver, which is one of the main things that keeps them alive. Lancer also going a little bit too over the top, but then here, just for a second, Gen.G's a little disjointed, right? You see them go in, Harvey walks forward, and the rest of the team is backing out. And that moment means that Bull gets to stack spears. And right now, Bull is extremely strong, very, very fed. So if you play that perfectly, you might be fine. If you back over everyone, you might be fine. But they kind of didn't do either. That's very punishing. And now Kwangdong taking further control of the game. I will firmly hold to my Gen.G prediction because I've seen Kwangdong almost lose the game previously.
Yes, they definitely did. They were about as close to winning as they could be, or close to throwing as they could be without actually throwing. Sabi did ask you a question. Is Umbral better first item? You did also explain why Umbral is better first item.
I'm with Oxer. I think that the power, both in terms of components and just being able to trade better right into the laning phase, that Umbral provides you because of the Dirk spike is really good. But also, like, it inflates your vision score so much, right? And they're running zombie ward, so what happens is you also get a ton of extra AD from that. I think it's 18 from the top of my head that you're able to build up with just your zombie ward, right? And you also have sweeper, so actually setting up any form of vision for Gen.G becomes very hard. So you deny quit as well, and I think the mandate damage comparatively just doesn't offer the same thing.
Yep. I do want to confirm, Lunel just did let everyone know, but this is indeed a rebroadcast from 3 years ago.
Yeah, all these players have already been shipped off to the ERLs.
Yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying the 2020 League of Legends.
I think
it is somehow on a patch with Zeri available, but still it is indeed a rebroadcast bully Finns. So thank you for the question. And that's why the color contrast is off. Yeah, Makina, you are absolutely right. Pretty cool that we managed to get time traveling ability as far as chat is concerned. But that's just it's one of those things. It's a lost technology from 3 years ago.
Time travel.
Yeah. Yeah.
That seems like it's true.
I think we decided that it just wasn't. It wasn't going to make enough money. The ad revenue wasn't good enough on time travel.
The ad revenue.
Yeah, not enough ad revenue.
Okay.
That was it.
Cool.
Yep. Yeah, 2020 was actually 3 years ago, isn't that weird? Brady, yeah,
like
no, we do
right?
know a fair bit about time travel.
Because the year's not over yet.
Oh yeah.
I guess.
That's a good point. But I don't know. It's close enough.
It really is.
Yeah. Gold exists in this game. 10 players have some.
I feel like
a few more of them on Quantum Freaks have more.
A bit of an energy dip, Atlas. Who would have thought? We're only in game 3 out of a possible 9.
It's true. Gonna have to conserve our energy as we slowly but surely make our way towards the next team fight. 1 minute and 20 seconds.
Quid making his way over, looking for an angle.
Shirelius has been popped.
They are running towards them, but Kwangdong guiding back very nicely here.
Yep, distracted by some wards to kill.
Don't forget about Yone. Cleaver making his way towards that bot side turret.
Don't you love side lanes? As indeed, they are actually playing out some 1-3-1 relatively nicely here. You can see Cleaver going to be able to take this turret. Meanwhile, Lance is backing off because he saw Zest move towards his lane. And they know that the Yone can just take the objective.
You might think, shouldn't Gen.G try to contest this Drake? Well, one, they can't really. Not in a great position right now. But more importantly, does Hextech or Chemtech Drake rather really matter? And I would personally argue no.
It does matter because it's an avenue towards an Elder Drake.
Well, maybe we can get an Elder flip. I personally wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Might be in Quantum Freaks' best interest to give the rest of the Drakes to Gen.G.
Denied. Winner going in nonetheless. Fearless play.
All right, does manage to find himself an ultimate. There's the final chapter as well as Courage. He can keep himself untargetable for a little bit. That's a decent Bramble Smash as Winner goes down. Oh, these are some heavy wallets, are they not? We're witnessing them crash down on the heads of Gen.G after they play relatively well. Quid goes golden and is likely to die. Oh, able to backflip his way out of it.
Nicely done.
So never you mind. 1 kill in exchange for 3. I think doing the math just quickly, that is better for Quantum Freaks. Also killing everyone on the enemy team is going to be a positive move, I think, here for the Quantum Freaks.
Exquisite gameplay here from Kwangdong.
Indeed.
Able to simultaneously win the team fight.
Not a bad rally.
Baron, although they are having some issues. I am not certain. That's shield pull procced.
Yeah. Lance are going to be able to
There
take
is
it in
also
a
a
turret.
winner on his way. I am having serious second thoughts here, Atlas.
Well,
Oh my god, he could have made it.
the rend does come in.
He had the big blast cones. He didn't know.
Ooh, he did have a bit of extra blasty time. This is a replay. Yep, it's still a replay.
Unfortunately for Gen.G, their initial setup attempting to use the Sejuani to tank a lot of the damage coming, or the root rather, from the Maokai doesn't quite work. And then they all run in together afterwards and get hit by a multi-man knock-up from the Kalista. As a result, getting absolutely boomed.
All right.
Yeah, well done there.
I've got a fun quiz. As Kwangdong Freaks
Yes.
taking down this Drake, I would like to ask the chat. Okay, never mind.
We're going in again.
Would have a bit of an engage. Quid trying to take down the Yone. They do so. Dragon goes the way of Kwangdong Freaks, but can they win the fight is the question. The answer is a resounding yes, as the Fiora's challenge is met with chaos and disaster from Gen.G. Losper, the last cat standing. And this should be the end of the game. And what my fun little thing was going to be is I was going to place my microphone on a different portion of my face and ask chat where it is. But I don't think I'm going to have time to do so. We'll have to save that little piece of entertainment for the next series, as Kwangdong Freaks just going to walk up the mid lane and finish the game.
And as the discussion regarding Yuumi itemization in this game comes to a close, as this game does as well, we find ourselves asking the question,
Yeah.
does any of it matter? What is going on and what am I watching?
Well, Bull is dancing around the Nexus, and he will allow us to reconvene for the answer of that question after this series, as Kwangdong Freaks will be able to pick this one up. Where are we going to throw the votes is a big question here.
I have made my call. I am waiting for you, Atlas.
Indeed. Are you
doing the Joker from The Dark Knight?
Yeah, I think I might join you on that one.
Nice. Thank you very much. As we kid, we joke, but a very important win here for Kwangdong Freaks. We also see the same issue still plaguing Gen.G, because as much as I agree with your call, chat, regarding the itemization choices, I do think Moonstone would have been quite nice there, because you are not playing into an enemy team that runs a Shirellia, so you don't run the risk of kind of being counted out there. And more importantly, you have enough hard engage, and if you don't hard engage, I guarantee you the enemy team will. So I would have been on board with that, but I also think it's important to again note that going into itemization and like micro decisions of players is just not going to matter as much, because this is challengers. We literally saw Kwangdong Freaks almost lose a game from a 12k gold lead.
We did say that.
So I just want to remind you that I love itemization talk, just don't overestimate its importance in these matches, because it's challenger, it's messy, but a very important win here for the Kwangdong Freaks.
Absolutely. This is their second in a row now, as they were able to take down Brion earlier on. However, Brion are struggling the most out of any other team here in Challenger. So Kwangdong Freaks being able to line one up against Gen.G, another struggling team. However, the next team that they needed to take down on their road to redemption.
And we have been joking around. We joke around more in general in Challengers, and I'm sure we will. I just want to make sure that everyone that's still around right now stick around for the next match as well. We're gonna close this off with the respect that it deserves, because this is again an important match for Kwangdong. But T1 D+ is next. My guess, there's about 4 future LCK winners on those two teams combined. Yeah. So if you're like watching this, you're like, oh, I'm having a good time, but where is the good league? Don't worry, it's coming.
I know exactly what you need to do. You need to smash that follow button, guys. We need to get that follower list up to a much higher number than 5,000. There are nowhere near enough people following this, and the quality of League of Legends that's going to be coming up is just absurd.
To me,
and I'm not even kidding, actually. T1 versus D+ Gear will be a great series.
The big thing is Ando's play today. In watching Kwangdong over the last about year and a half, they have had a very consistent issue that it was either their solo lanes popping off, sometimes the help of their jungler at the time, Citrus, but it was the Ilma and Bulldog show. And seeing this team actually be able to utilize Bull better and having a support that seemingly, I think, had a great series here thus far, is very promising and might actually help them kind of grow into a much more well-rounded team after they have been so sorely set back with the loss of Bulldog, who, even though Kwangdong Freaks is on a rough time currently in the LCK, to me, still player that I will be excited for going forward into the next couple of years.
No, 100%. This damage graph is absolutely hilarious with the just sheer amount of damage that the Ashe managed to do. Bull's going to pick it up on his Kalista. They were both of our votes, 7-0 and 6. And this is actually the first time we've seen AD Kalista here in Korea thus far this year, which is kind of cute. We did see the support Kalista from Keria, but I don't know whether that counts. He just picks anything with a ranged auto attack and makes it look like it fits into the support role. So looking forward what the next one's going to be. But Bull actually just had a really great game on the Kalista this time around.
Really did. Showcasing how the pick can work if you can snowball. Killer instinct in the mid-game teamfights as well. In the way that we've seen many Kalistas. LCK notably as well, although that was more so last year, able to consistently find these early game angles. And Bull is been a player that at times was alright, but never really impressed me. And if the Kwangdong bot lane can continue their development, can continue their performance, and maybe the team can grow into one of the powerhouses of challengers. Now, taking down Brion and Gen.G is not really going to make us believe just yet. But, you know, a 1,000-mile journey starts with a single step, Atlas.
It absolutely does. You just need to walk out your door.
And Kalista takes a lot of
on your
steps.
way. Yeah, she does.
A lot.
And a lot of hops.
A lot of them.
So that is going to be our first series of the day. Thankfully, everyone, there is plenty more where that comes from, as D plus Key are going to be taking to the Rift against T1, and then we have DRX facing off against somebody else a bit later on. It's hard to remember exactly. It's Sandbox. Yeah, DRX versus Live Sandbox. If this was in the LCK, would be a clash of bottom tier teams here in Challenger. Well, actually, no. Sandbox is like third, so never mind. I still have it in my mind after their loss to D plus Key.
That game was rough.
It really did number to me, and my ability to perceive Live Sandbox as anything other than not a team that is super great. However, they are definitely doing a lot better in the LCK. So it would have been a...
I know. Good question. She's taking a day off. Can you imagine?
I highly doubt she's taking a day off. I did ask her to watch Challenger.
It's G-Sun. She probably is working.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. There was a question that came in for you, because this is the time where we do start to have a bit of a chat to you guys. You're
our community
right in front of us, so we can have a bit of a chat with you. But I did save a question from previously. This is from Studio Kimbap, who says, Chronicler, please talk about your cameo in Begin Again.
Oh, yeah. I went to a show with Valdez and Bang and G-Sun. And there were some great Korean artists. And it was really good. Yeah.
Cool.
Those Korean songs may have shed a tear when one of them sang a beautiful ballad. It was great. I had a wonderful night.
You cameoed, though? What's the cameo
I mean,
about?
I don't know. I guess there was just film crews. So I guess they saw, that guy is, those guys are there. And that was it. I don't know. I don't feel like I was asked a question.
What emotion would you say you brought to the recording?
Quiet contemplation with a touch of tears.
Mild enthusiasm? No?
I'm always enthusiastic, you know.
Yeah, there we go. So there's a bit of a taste of that as well. So some quiet reflection and enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Some refreshment.
Okay. Bit of emotion.
Felt very nice. It's really, really great. Quite a great evening. Although I do have to say that we waited about like an hour and a half in the cold beforehand because there were some issues, which wasn't great.
Yeah.
But outside of that, stellar night.
Good times. All right. Yeah. I didn't have an opportunity to go myself, but I feel like I was there with that rendition of the evening. So really feeling fantastic. Shin Winter is very confused about something somebody else has said. So I can't actually see what that is.
G-Sun actually did translate as well because they asked me a question in Korean. And
King Quack, T1 does play today.
They do. They play next.
You should not go to sleep. Fake it. Coming up in the next match.
So that's a lie. Don't trust Atlas. And secondly, what's important is that you get enough sleep. Sleep is actually very important for a healthy lifestyle. I want all my chatters to stay healthy. Okay.
Oh, Astro Nautilus. We don't hate Nautilus. What are you talking about? Effort's Nautilus was actually very good the other day. We very much enjoyed it. So you just stop. You just stop that.
Favorite kind of cheese? Oh, that's a toughie. I just like Dutch. The Dutch in general have great cheeses. The most popular one, of course, is Gouda, aka
Of course.
Gouda.
Ah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
I see what you did there.
It's Gouda.
Yeah.
Don't try to pronounce it if you're not Dutch. It's not a great word.
Wasn't
It's actually
going
a
to.
city.
Is it?
Yeah, Gouda. I mean, a lot of cheeses are a city. Roquefort is another one from the top of my head.
Do you know there's a lot of sausage that is a city as well?
Don't you go there
Like
again.
Strasbourg.
That's a deep challenger, lore, right there.
It is indeed. My favorite cheese is probably an aged cheddar. I had a delicious Mersey Valley from, it's an Australian, I think it's Victorian cheese. Anyway, but it has like cracked pepper in it as well. It's aged cheddar with cracked pepper. Absolutely beautiful. You have that on a
Delicious.
Savoy, and you are just having the greatest time of
Nice.
your life. You can also get cracked pepper Savoys if you're obsessed with cracked pepper, like I am. It's very, very good. Very, very good. 064 says a blue cheese is the best cheese, and cheesed. He said blue cheese is the best cheesed. But I
like
assume
it.
that's a typo.
But to me, it is a bit more limited in its applications. I'm always down for more neutral cheeses. I do think that that type of cheese can be a little bit much.
Yep.
But
Oh,
I
hi,
do
Alice. Just
appreciate
wanted
it
to
for
say
what it
hi from
brings.
Sydney. Also happy and relieved that Chronicler didn't need to dye his hair crying laughing emoji. Yeah. We're also very happy about that also. Although I would have liked to see the old man grey hair.
It would not be old man gray hair. It would be like, I don't think it'd be great for my skin tone, light hair.
Well, I
I
mean,
feel like it'd look weird.
down the line, you're probably going to have no choice. You may as well check it out early. You know? Won't your hair eventually go grey?
Is this where I bring up you going bald and complaining about it a lot and then doing it, even though eventually you'll go bald anyway?
I'm not going to go bald. Why would you say that? Does this hair look like it's leaving?
I mean, not right now. That's for sure. Even if it wasn't, wasn't attached to your head, it would have nowhere to go.
No, exactly. And I
Couldn't leave.
actually just peel it off every night, and then it grows back by the morning.
Oh, I thought you said you were
because,
just
like,
wearing a helmet.
This doesn't actually it doesn't wash out. Like that doesn't happen. So if I go
Surely.
bald, then it's going to be a pretty ridiculous experience. The camera shows the bald spot. Okay, now I am very, very self-conscious. So I appreciate that. This is why we don't read Twitch chat, isn't it?
It's so bad for you.
This is 100% the reason why. Because now I'm just...
Like, you want me to do a spot check, scalp check?
Yeah, please. Just...
No, you good, man. We can go down a little bit more.
Okay.
I think you're fine.
Okay.
I'm saying no, you're good. I don't know what you're talking about, Chad.
I do have some,
Come on, Chad, be better.
I do have some grey ones coming through, I'm pretty
That's
sure.
fine. A little salt and pepper. It's nothing
Atlas,
wrong with that.
any of your uncles on your mother's side bald? No. My father's side, very much yes. My dad's brother went bald in high
Ooh,
school,
Actually,
which is pretty
my
ridiculous. but
uncle from my mother's side is
everyone's got
indeed
hair.
bald. But I'm not super worried about my hair because he was bald at like 26. So,
Ain't going bald, but the hairline is higher than the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, it's like I'm not bald. My hairline is just halfway down my back.
I have never heard
That's
that one.
perfect. I just came up with that one myself, but I think that sounds pretty good. So production is now telling us to stop talking, please, which I could understand. We are going to go to a short break. When we get back,
It's going to be a banger. This
it
actually,
is.
next match is going to be amazing.
We might in fact be serious. So we're going to take a short break. We'll see you on the other side.
นักผู้ผลิต